travel to a faraway jungle to find the source, each having their own reasons. Welcome to the Tomb of Annihilation. Alright, well welcome back everyone. Anders, over to you if you're ready.
I am, in fact. Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas. Because we were talking about last, I think it was not last time we played, but the time before that, I suggested that Janus threw his dice in the trash that he kept rolling so badly with. And he proposed that he didn't have any. So for Christmas, this is our last time since Christmas, I bought everyone digital dice. So,
God, thank you.
Thank you very much.
so I
is
will.
Thank you so much.
I will just send codes to everyone, and then you'll have new digital dice for this last game before we play for Christmas. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Anders.
And
I wrote down who had to get which, so I just need a moment.
You need a moment. Okay, in which case then, it is our last session until the new year. Just to recap on our availability for the new year, did we agree, remind me, the 4th or the 11th?
The 4th,
January.
me and Giannis are in Estonia, so I don't think we really could. We might be able to,
Well,
but I think it might be a bit
don't
difficult.
rush it again. No. So we're looking at the 11th then?
Yeah.
In my case, 11 for sure. 4, I'm not certain.
Okay. Alright, good. Let's say January the 11th, and if anyone wants to squeeze something in who's around on the 4th, then let's just communicate on the Discord. How's that sound?
Good to me.
Sounds good.
Okay.
There we go. Everyone should have gotten a link.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
There we go.
Dice of Enlightenment.
Oh, they look pretty spicy.
Well, I'm gonna equip mine right now.
Yeah.
Dito.
Okay, I need to
Nice.
There they are. I never knew I had so many dice.
Oh,
Why? I have not purchased anything. Alright.
Oh. Wow. Okay, that's some sound effect. Awesome. Okay. So, everyone ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Alright. After eliminating the pirate threat and commandeering one of their vessels for themselves, our party reported back to the Lady Sintra Sylvain that their mission had been accomplished. They then set off to uphold their deal with the two dwarves and headed off across towards Hrakhamar over the cold bold mountains, while their newly met companions took their new vessel, the Lady Fortune, into Shilku Bay, where they would restock and meet in 5 days' time. An uneventful mountain crossing saw the party reach Hrakhamar by lunch the next day, where they were met by a dwarf calling herself Sithy Vinecutter and the wife of Musharib. While the meeting wasn't hostile, there was definitely some tension between Musharib and his wife. Sithy explained that Hrakhamar, nested by fire newts for the last half-century, has recently begun using the forge inside, and now was the time to strike and steal back the gauntlet. She laid out a plan. The party would act as a decoy, sneak in, steal the gauntlet, and then exit the mine via the railway, taking the fire newts with them, while Sydney and her team entered after, closing the tunnels so that the fire newts couldn't return. With some of her troops stationed on the mine's other exit, the plan should hopefully clear out the majority of the fire newts and thwart whatever item it is they were constructing. So the party, along with two of Siddy's best climbers, Beeson and Bonson, entered the mine. After sneaking around the eastern tunnels, they encountered a sinister voice commanding the fire newts to work harder. Rushing into the room, dispatching the creatures, they didn't find the speaker of the voice, but the party did manage to rescue the two dwarven prisoners they were looking for, and then proceeded to break into the vault, retrieved the gauntlet, and made a run for it straight down the center of the forge, not stopping until they leapt onto two empty flatbed mining carts, and, waiting for the dwarves to get off and push them, they shoved off from the forge and the pursuing fire newts. 25 feet down the tracks and around the corner, Yelena, sustaining but a flesh wound from the giant striders stabled along the mining tracks. And this is where we pick up. The party are split amongst the two carts. On the front flatbed, we have Dusted, Lunan, Hugh, and Velrus, who's handling the brake. And on the second flatbed, which is just rammed into the back of the first, we have Vargo, Musharib, and Yelena, who's handling the brake. As you slowly jostle with each other, moving around the bend where all the giant striders are attempting to break free from their stables, I need everyone to roll initiative, please.
All right.
It sounds. Good start for the new dice set. Nice.
Let's take off Bonson and Beeson.
Nice. Way better when you're rolling them.
Mine makes some funky noises.
So does mine.
Dustin, do you have a cat on yours?
Sadly not. No.
Right. Team, since this is a chase, everyone's movements will happen simultaneously. What that means is you won't be able to hold any actions, and neither will anyone be able to get opportunity attacks during a chase. Yelena and Valrus, as you are both in charge of the brakes, you may use your action to control the brake every turn. You can either forcefully apply the brake to slow down, which will cause the cart to lose 50 feet of speed in one go. You can use an action to apply the brake to maintain speed, or you can release the brake, not touching it at all, which means that you can do something else, and the cart will gain 50 feet of speed. Both carts are slowly gathering speed as they move around the bend, currently moving at less than 25 feet per round. Over to you, Dusted. You are first in the order.
I think I'll take my longbow. All these just broke free, right? All
They're
these
not-
10.
They're not all yet broken free. They are pulling at their restraints, their leads, which are just lashed over a hook or something.
Well, I think I'll just take the dodge action for
Okay.
now. I'm not quite sure what Dusted has both his daggers still in his hands, so he would have to sheath at least one of them to be able to sort of attack next turn.
Okay.
So he's just going to sheath one dagger and then one of the throwing daggers and then dodge for this round.
Alrighty. Vargo.
All right. I suppose I will try to use doing some motions with my hands, cast minor illusion right there, and make the illusion of a pot of gold.
Okay.
A pot filled with gold. It's to see how they react.
Alright, so you're gonna cast an illusion on your turn. I'm gonna ask Lunan first what you're gonna do.
Tricky. I kind of want to try to protect us. So the other cart, how close are they to us at the moment?
They've bumped into the back of you, because as you got on the cart, Valrus was slowly holding onto the brake. Yelena didn't do anything at all, so the cart bumped into the back of you. So you're basically rubbing each other at the moment.
And all the creatures that are free, are they looking like they're about to attack us anyway?
They are all busy, so all of the fire newts from behind you in the forge are rushing towards you, and some of the creatures, they're all trying to pull free, or they're stamping and getting agitated.
Okay, I think I will just cast Spirit Guardians.
Okay.
I will share it, and I will set all of us in the carts to be non-affected.
And it's concentration, yes?
Concentration up to 10 minutes.
Okay. Yelena, what are you doing?
We can't really like. I suppose she'll probably let off the brake a bit if we're not going too fast around the corner, which it doesn't seem like we are, because we're waiting for the others in front to move. Right?
Yeah, the car.
Currently going less than 25, I think.
Yeah, you're going less than 25. I mean,
Yeah.
you've just
So she'll.
pushed off.
Yeah, so she'll if she's on the brake, she'll ease off the brake a bit. I don't know if there's a way to like make it start going. She'll try and shove the one in front.
If you want it to freewheel, you basically just let go of the brake.
Yeah, she'll take the brake off.
Okay.
For now.
Valrus, what about you?
Also taking the brake off since we're going so slowly.
Okay. Hugh and Musharib are still busy climbing onto the cart, so they're rolling over and they're pulling out weapons and preparing themselves. Right, by the end of round 1 then, the rickety, noisy flatbeds wobbling and tilting as they go around. They take the corner. Without the brakes, they slowly start to pick up speed as they shoot out towards the river of lava ahead.
Shiny lava.
Bear with me 1 second. Alright. The second cart immediately moves as soon as Valrus, your cart begins to make space. The cart immediately shunts behind you as well as it comes right up and nudges you. You speed off. By the end of the round, your cart is going at 50. A movement of 50 and slowly picking up speed. As you look behind you, your weapon is still there. Right.
Oh my god, are we going separate ways?
No. Picking up pace, you shoot across the bridge above the lava and into round 2. Darkness ahead on the other side. You're going at 50 feet around. As you look behind you, Musharib. Ah! Yes! Make sure you let go of the brake. These bloody lizards are fast! Just above him, you notice the Striders. Indeed, they are quite fast. The warriors behind have unhooked the leads off the wall, and many of them have jumped into the saddles, with the striders advancing almost half the distance in half of the round. Dusted, what are you going to do with your action?
Dusted's gonna pull out his longbow. Just in case.
Okay.
And since he won't take a shot yet, but he's still sort of like alert, so he won't shoot or anything.
Okay, so you're just going to ready it.
Yeah.
Vargo.
Since they didn't seem to notice the illusion, I guess I will take the dodge action in case they throw something at us.
Mm-hmm. Then that brings us to Yelena on the cart. What are you doing?
She's gonna keep off the brake for now.
Okay.
Yep.
Are you going to use your action to do anything else?
I don't. I wish this is the point where like you wish I had ball bearings to throw at the things chasing us, but I don't. I don't think. I guess she might use she'll use her action to try and hit. Oh, let me double check. Actually, they're within 60 foot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You're 50,
she's gonna.
At the beginning of the round, you're 50 feet. You're moving, they're moving, so yeah.
Oh, okay. She'll try and hit one of the thingies with a ray of frost. Just to, I think it slows things down. Yeah. Just to try and slow them down.
Okay, so you're going to fire at one in the hopes that...
It'll slow at least one down.
Alright.
Oh, my D&D Beyond is rolling really slowly today. I might restart it.
I have a fancy
11.
But it popped up with an 11, which is unfortunately a miss.
That's alright.
Do roll another d20 for me, please.
Yeah.
As it flies, warning shot.
Oh my days. I might open this in Firefox, it's being very slow.
Alright, it fires past. We'll wait for the dice to load. Letting go of break. Lunan, the 10. Unfortunately, that's a miss as well. It shoots up into the ceiling and sprays ice all over the place. Nothing damaging enough, though.
That's alright.
Lunan, over to you, sir.
You just look over my shoulder and say, "You better maybe prepare that web that you'll be using before." Then I start digging in my backpack looking for a certain vial of smoke
Okay.
in case it is needed later.
Alright, and Valrus, what are you up to?
Not knowing whether or not Yelena's keeping off the brakes, I will keep off the brakes so they don't crash into us.
Alright, so you're going to man the brake, yeah?
I will leave the brake open.
Alright.
So I'm going to go full speed because I don't want the others to slam into us.
Okay. By the end of this round, you both let go of the brake. Everyone starts preparing, and a ray of ice shoots off across into the cavern. It's firing into the ceiling, spraying a gout of ice. And as you look behind you, through the ice, the striders come breaking in, effortlessly spending their entire turn running and catching up with your cart. You are currently moving at 100, and the striders have caught up with you. On the backs of them, I'm not going to put the fire newts, but there are a couple of fire newts on the back of them as well, riding them. The first thing they need to do is, Lunan, you have a spell prepared for 15 feet, don't you?
Anything within 15 feet of me has to roll a wisdom save.
Okay, so the front two, it'll definitely hit them. They will be on the edge. So let's go and have a look at a wisdom save throw.
And it's also, what's it called? Difficult terrain. So half speed within those 15 feet.
Okay.
Yeah, that's manages. So
And
it's half damage.
And the second one gets a 13, which I assume is a fail.
It's a fail. I just need to double check the damage. 3d8 radiant damage.
Oh, 3d8 radiant damage. As they come closer up towards you, almost in line with the second cart. Is that 17?
17 and halved for the one with high check.
Okay. Alright, instantly this one slows down and drops and pulls back over there. The second one, however, half. Okay, the second one, however, will slow down through the difficult terrain to, I'm going to put him in there, to about there. Okay. I believe that brings us to the end of the round, doesn't it? Which means then, Dusted. In the darkness, the carts go shooting into the new tunnel, and as you whiz past, you notice that there are 2 more corridors on your right-hand side. And as you go running, shooting through into the darkness, your dark vision begins to kick in. Save for Vargo, who's sitting on the back of the cart with Yelena and Mushuru. And as you go flying through, you notice on the opposite side that another set of tracks joins you coming through. Your carts are both moving at 100. Striders have just been keeping pace with you, 2 of them falling out from behind you, as the 3 that take their place in front open their mouths, and on this round they're going to breathe gouts of fire at you. Dusted.
So Dusted is gonna try to sort of shoot in for the head of the one of them that's trying to breathe fire, sort of trying to deter it.
Okay.
Or snap it out of it.
Ooh, headshot. Alright, so you're going to try and do that. Go ahead and roll. Vargo, in the meantime.
27.
Nice.
That'll hit.
I'm preparing myself for the incoming. I mean, I really don't know what they are trying to do, but I know they are trying to do something, so I'm preparing myself.
Okay. I mean, as the round slowly progresses, you're all moving at the same time. You can see that they are breathing in. You can see the flames almost inside the base of their necks and their lungs about to spew out. You're pretty sure that's gonna spit fire at you.
Alright, in that case, Vargo is starting to prepare a spell for when the time comes. That's all.
Okay, Yelena.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
What am I gonna do? I can't see much in front of us on the map. Is there a corner? Does it look like there's a corner coming up, or?
There is not a corner coming.
Okay, well she'll stay off the break then. And she'll try and shoot one of the ones that are behind them with a ray of frost.
You're gonna shoot the ones behind, so the second rank of
Yeah.
striders coming. Okay, cool. Go ahead and roll your attack. Dustin, you hit 11 damage, didn't you?
Yeah, I think so.
Which one in the front?
He was just aiming at which one he could aim, like which one he could hit from this angle.
Yelena, that's a hit.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll your damage.
Oh.
Okay, and that explodes in a 10-foot radius?
No, it just hits the one, and it will, the target has its speed reduced by 10 feet until the start of my next turn.
Okay, so I'm gonna put that one over there then. Because these ones at the back have slowed down. Okay. Then that'll bring us... That's your go. That'll bring us to Lunan and Valrus.
Lunan, knowing the effect of Toll the Dead, will send away 3 magic missiles to the 2 behind the closest.
In the second wave.
The second wave and the third one. So I will hit 3 undamaged people.
So you want to hit the 3 that are grouped up in the middle over there. Is that right?
I want to hit that guy,
Yeah. That one, yeah.
that guy, and that guy.
I got you. Okay, cool. What, one magic
With-
missile each?
Yeah, 1 magic missile each.
Alright, go ahead and roll.
No rolling needed. Only damage.
Yeah.
So
1d4 plus 1.
yeah. So this is the first guy, second guy, and third guy.
Alright. Oh, nice. Third guy. Okay, Valrus. What is your plan?
If I keep off the brakes, does that mean I'll have a spell as well?
Correct.
Okay. So they are catching up still, so I'll keep that off and I will twin a chromatic orb towards, let's say, the closest one and the one to the right of it, the next closest one to the right.
So the closest one being the yellow and then the purple.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. Go ahead
That's
and
for
why don't
the
you
first.
send chromatic orb to the... Holy cow, that hits.
Here is the second. That probably misses.
The 12 does miss, yes.
Yeah, okay. That is 3d8 for the first then.
Which type of damage?
We'll make it
Fire. How?
cold damage.
Cold damage indeed, okay. In which case, as it does, the ice strikes it. The Strider almost... his legs buckle as he drops, and the fire newt riding on him falls off backwards, and as he does, the Strider falls into the lava with the fire newt. Both of them are out of the game.
That's my turn.
Okay. Right. The 2 Striders in the front are the ones that were going to breathe. The other one was hit everything simultaneously, so he does get his breath weapon off at the same time. So, that means that the front 3 are going to give a fire burst. As three of them spew forward, they actually aim at the cart running in the front. Each creature in a 10-foot radius sphere centered on the point must make a DC 12 Dex saving throw or take 4d6 fire damage. So I'm going to roll to hit. Because we're moving. And I'm going to do it 3 times. Okay, those are 3 awful rolls. Has anyone in the front cart got AC 11 or less?
No, I do not.
Okay, so Valrus, you're the only one that I thought you might do. Alright, in which case, the range itself is a 10-foot sphere. All of it misses. I do need all of you to roll a DC 12 Dex saving throw, please. For a quarter damage or none.
That's a dexterity check. Sorry.
It should the same for you.
14, yeah. Okay. Lunan, you rolled a 10, which means you didn't make the save. So that, can you roll a d6, please? That is how much damage you will take. And I'll need you to roll a concentration check for me. Wow. As 3 fireballs explode in the ceiling above you, you're moving so fast that the flames don't even catch up with you, except Lunan, who forgets to duck as you go cruising at 150 feet per 3 seconds. All the way. 1 point and your con save easy saved. Okay. As you go flying down the corridor in the darkness, those in front of you, okay, all of you in the darkness, you manage to see just up ahead some light coming through as you pass through what effectively looks like an archway. Why hasn't this map changed? Oh, because I haven't changed it to you guys, that's why. Okay. The light up ahead fills the cavern as you go bursting out, moving at 150 feet every 3 seconds. The striders behind you are slowly falling back as the front row of just spouted flame drop behind and are then overtaken by the next batch and the next batch. They are now 50 feet behind you. There we go. I need everyone please to roll a perception check for me. As you turn the small bend, the light glowing up ahead, all of a sudden you come breaking out of the corridor into an open space, killing your dark vision. Glowing yellow and red flames from below seem to lick up the sides of the cavern where the cart is riding around. The cart spades along the tracks and over a small bridge. Have I got some perception checks? I do. Dusted and Lunan, looking around, you notice that you are indeed in a small circular cavern. There is a stream of magma running below where the bridges are stationed that seem to be seeping out into another area. And in the center of the fire on the bottom is some sort of a creature, almost running around, and it looks like it's frolicking. A good 60-70 feet below you. It hasn't noticed you. But everybody, as you look up, you notice that there is an upcoming bend which looks really steep and is racing around the corner at such an incline the cart might even tip over. Yelena, what are you going to do with the break?
As there's a turn coming up, she's gonna put it on. Is it half that we can do?
Yeah, you're just going to dab the brakes and maintain
Yeah.
speed.
Yes. Dab and maintain. Yes.
Okay. Valrus, what are you going to do?
Do I see the big corner or not?
Where are you? You rolled a 17. You don't
Yep.
see... Oh, the corner you see coming up, yes.
Okay.
But you don't see the creature on the bottom.
Okay. I will also dab the brakes.
Alright, so you're just going to maintain speed.
Yep.
Okay. Then the rest of you, Dusted and Fargo.
I don't know if if I notice anything with the natural one on a perception check.
Not a chance, not a sausage. The only thing you're looking at is you can see all of a sudden as you shoot out of a dark cavern into something bright. It's like one of those spotlight in the eyes, you know, or the staring into the sun. It's quite bright. You can't quite. What are you gonna do?
Nothing really. I picked a dodge action.
Okay. Dusted.
Yeah. Dustin is rather fascinated with the creature down the middle.
Uh-huh.
Okay, if Dustin's going to basically try to determine if the creature can. Are we traveling? The way that I can see the track from here, are we traveling past, like, in a safe distance from it?
Yes. Yeah, you're 60 feet above it.
Well, in that case, I think Dustin would just try to roll. I don't know if it's nature. It looks magical when it's on fire, but something to identify what this might be.
Okay. What do you want to roll?
Well, it's equally bad. So Dustin is just gonna try his uncanny knack for Arcana.
Okay. Well, go ahead and roll a d20 for me anyway. Do you have an intelligence modifier?
Yes, it's awful, and Dustin's just gonna ooh pretty.
Yeah, it looks very fun. Ooh, frolicking, shiny, but not a gem shiny. Shiny a fire. That's about it. Lunan.
Was it bull-like, you said, or was it horse-like?
It
they
looks like
tell?
a cross between the two, actually. The body of a horse, but the head of a bull.
Dusted. Yeah, considering doing a thing, but I don't think I will. I will just say, point it out, like, look, down there,
Okay.
so the others can see it.
Alright, in which case then, Vargo, with your awful roll, go ahead and roll a perception check for me again.
Alrighty. Another awful roll.
Yeah, no, you don't see what he's talking about.
What?
You were
What?
too busy doing something on your own. Okay, is that everyone's turn?
Yes.
Okay. Right. As you go screaming across the little bridge, looking around, holding your turns or preparing to dodge, the corner hits you fast. I need everyone to roll a dex check, please. As you dab the brakes...
Check or saving throw?
A check.
Alrighty.
As you dab the brakes, you only need a 12.
Ouch.
Valrus, I'm gonna need you to roll a strength check for me, please.
Even worse. Yeah.
7. Okay. Yelena?
A strength check.
I didn't see what you rolled, sorry.
Dexterity
Dex.
check.
Yeah, dex check for me.
20.
Oh, no problem at all. Okay. So, as the carts go flying around the corner, Lunan and Yelena, you're the quickest to see Valrus all of a sudden slips. As you're moving around here, he tries to grab on, but as he does, his hand falls and lets go of the cart. Lunan, you got an 18. You can adjust your turn. And Yelena, you as well. The two of you notice he's slipping and he looks like he is about to fall off.
Valerie sits next to me, right?
Yeah.
I will try to grab him.
Okay. I need an athletics check from you then, please.
Can I assist in that or be assisted in that? Since I'm also in the cart?
You are, but you only got a 14 on your footing
Okay.
check.
Roll well.
Fuck.
Alright, Valrus. You need to beat a 5.
For a dex check.
Well, yeah, if Luna would have rolled high, you know, then you probably would have had to roll worse, but you need to beat a 5 for a dex check. As Lunan tries to grab hold of you, do you manage to curl your fingers around and grab his falling hand? Okay, you do manage to do it. And Dustin, at this point, you notice them clasping hands. That's the end of this round. Lunan looks like he's not strong enough to keep Valrus's weight up. The cart is still moving around. Shoot.
Is it... Because I rolled a 20, is it possible to use the lightning lure to help pull him up?
Lightning, oh my god. So he ends in your wagon.
I'll post this spell. It's a cantrip. It will do damage. I think it's just a strength saving throw, but I don't know if you can just choose to fail it.
I'm probably thinking if you yank somebody up with lightning, I think they'll probably have some damage when they land.
Yeah, it's a 2d8 damage when they get hit by it.
Okay.
Are you resistant to lightning damage?
Valrus, go ahead and roll a strength saving throw, please.
It's my specialty.
When you...
Oh, he beats it. Oh,
No!
oh no.
He does,
The
but
DC is a 15.
in this instance, you're falling, you get disadvantage.
Oh dear.
This one he rolls higher.
Yeah, no, can you believe
Roll low, please.
That's pretty low.
Hey.
All right. As you fall and Lunan is almost holding you, and you feel his grip slipping, lightning lashes down and strikes you for... Yelena, go ahead and roll some damage for me, please.
Double 8s.
39, don't worry.
You get
Average,
lashed
okay.
for 9 points of damage and yanked up to 10 feet in the air. I'm gonna say you actually land on the cart with Yelena.
Yeah, oh god.
She just looks to you. I didn't quite mean to hurt you so much.
As you
Sort
land
of
on the
shakes his
flatbed, your
hand.
clothes are slightly steaming. from the lightning that's just coursed through your body.
But I
Better
think
than that, I think.
yes, that's what I was thinking. Hopefully, they will be okay without you.
Right, so wow. At the end of round 4 then, we have the front cart, which is now no longer occupied by Valrus, moving at 150, along with the second cart behind it, the brakeman by Yelena. More
Did
people
we
also
just-
moving.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Did we just lose the person controlling the car?
Yeah, Dustin just realized that as well. Shit.
What are you gonna do? Let's start with the first card then, shall we? Dusted, you go you had a higher...
Yeah, Dustin is gonna put away his longbow and try to dab the brake a bit. Because we're going a little too fast around the bend for this.
Okay. As you go coasting around the bend, you notice you've made it around. There's no need to dab the brake this time, but you look ahead and there is another similar bend coming up on the next round.
Yeah, but Dustin prepares for that then.
Okay. Lunan.
Do we see any of the chasing creatures coming up?
Oh yeah, my apologies, you do, bollocks. As you hit the bend, you look behind you, you notice that the Striders, 3 of them... Come on, move, you little things. Have moved, run up to there.
They may have gotten 2 turns, actually.
Right, this is as you go around the bend where you see them almost on the top of the track. And then by the end of this turn, you guys will be over here. The Striders.
Love it. No problem.
Just move this little monkey back over there. Okay, there we go. Right, the Striders, what they're doing is they're all getting ready to fire. They're spreading out like this so all of them can try and hit you. The others in the back are only catching up again. They appear to be a lot slower given that most of them are damaged. You will have 6 attacks coming at you this turn as you turn and take a look. So, Dusted, you're preparing for the turn coming up.
Yeah, dabbing the brake.
Vargo, okay, you're maintaining speed at 150. Vargo, what are you doing?
If there is an action to brace myself for what's coming, I'm doing that.
Is that me making circles? No.
Okay. No, it was me, but I wanted it. But yeah, it's fine.
Alright. Yelena, what are you doing?
She'll probably just maintain the speed that they're at, because it seems to have been serving them pretty well so far.
Okay. Staying at a steady 150, you're going to spend your action keeping hold of the brake. Lunan.
Lunan takes out the smoke grenade that he has and tries to give ourselves some cover. And I would like that ring I was taking out, 20 in diameter, and place it somewhere around here so we cover ourselves going through it and make it ourselves a hard target to be hit.
Awesome. That's the smoke grenade.
Yeah. I will share it. It's from my inventory. We got it a long time ago.
I think you had 2 more?
I think... don't know anymore. I think we got 2, but I think I got only one of them.
Okay. And finally then Valrus.
Probably going to just adjust for the moment as he almost fell into the pit of lava and was yanked off very suddenly. So he's just gonna panic for a second and just get used to the new cart.
Okay. Awesome. So as you guys do that then, the Striders. Right, I'm gonna actually, as we're moving, I'm gonna give them rolls. There's gonna be 6 of them. We're going to have, we'll make it, actually I'm not gonna roll 6, am I? Because Lunan, you're gonna unstop the flask and you're gonna do that, so I'm gonna go for the first one and give him disadvantage. Three is a terrible miss. The second one. A 9, that'll definitely be a miss. Third one. 8, that's a miss. Alright, and then the other two, well, a 5 and a 10, not 2 who aren't firing into the smoke. Let's say the back of the cart where Valrus is, but both of those rolls will be a miss. Imagine, if you will, as you come flying into this lava-filled cavern, holding on to the carts, turning a steep corner at an incline, banking around, and as you look up, the Striders spread themselves apart, all preparing to fire flame at you. And as they do, your speed, they almost look like those movies where the bullets pass right behind you, Matrix style, as you just fly just before they start to explode and burst around into the next corner, where I need everyone to make another dexterity saving throw. Because you maintain speed, your DC is a 12.
Bargo will conduct himself with magic and use his reaction to use Arcane Deflection, adding a +4 to that save.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say you're gonna use your action to do that.
It's a reaction, but
yeah,
sure.
Because we're in a chase, you don't get reactions, which is why you don't get opportunity attacks. Your reactions are used to keep you stable on the cart in case anything happens.
Alright. Then what do I do?
So you can use your action this turn to use that and save yourself and give yourself the 4 points. That I'll, as we're speeding through. But then that's your action.
Alright, I will do that.
Okay. Which means everybody manages to pass as you hold on to the cart, steaming around. The round counter is wrong, but nonetheless, you pass underneath the bridge where the Striders are standing. Once again, plunged into darkness. Let's move that away as you come all the way down into the other cave entrance. Doing these little carts individually is difficult work. Okay, let's clear the fog so you guys can see. Does that come up? Yeah, there we go. Alright, plunged into darkness, you hit a small corner. The light up ahead slowly starts to dwindle from the lava behind as your dark vision begins to kick in. When from behind you, you hear boom, 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 ah! As the Striders spend their action jumping off the bridge and chasing you again. You are moving by the end of the round at 150 at the moment. Sorry, at the start of the round. Yelena, what are you doing with the break?
She'll currently to her the corner looks a little bit less. Oh man, what's the word?
Steep.
Intense. Yeah, steep. So she will ease off the brake a bit more. She won't completely let go, but she'll just ease off so they can go a little bit faster.
Okay. So it's basically got 3 settings. Maintain speed, go faster, or go slower.
Oh, go faster then.
Okay. Dusted, which setting are you going for?
I'm gonna try to keep the speed just so that they can catch up because there is a little bit of a gap now, right?
No, that's just the map placement. I'll move that.
Oh, okay. Then he'll. I think he's still hypnotized at the animal a little bit, so he's not dabbing at the moment.
Okay, distracted by the sight of
The,
the
the
animal.
shiny mount at the bottom of the pit.
Yes. Okay, in which case then, Lunan, what are you doing?
I think if he can see the creatures, will cast Toll the Dead.
You can see the 6 of them that have jumped down, so yes.
So Toll the Dead on whoever is closer.
Okay. Just on the one of them. Go ahead. I need to roll a wisdom saving throw. 15. Oh, I can send to everyone.
I believe the save is 16.
16,
Yes.
in which case he's damaged as well, so go ahead and roll your... Is it 2d12?
Yes. Fancy dice. Do me right. Oh, yes.
Oh. Okay, yeah. 18 points of damage is enough to actually take him out. Good job. As the bells ring out and one of the striders almost drops down. That'll be your turn. Vargo.
We said that I was gonna use my action to do that, I think.
That is correct. Thank you very much for reminding me. So who have I left out? Felrus.
He will cast slow on the remaining 5.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh, good one. Can you send that to the log so I can just double check if they need a save?
They do need to save.
Against wisdom.
Yes.
Okay, so in which case they get +1.
Mm-hmm.
There's now 5 of them. There's 118. And it's wisdom 16, 214. So only one of them makes it. As all of them start to slow down, you let go of the brakes, didn't you?
I'm no longer in control of the brakes.
Yeah, both of you. Okay, so by the end of this turn, the carts speed up and are moving at 200 feet per round. The strider that isn't slowed is 50 feet behind you. No, he's just a little bit more. And as he slowly starts to tail off on this turn, he appears to be the last one that's been trying to keep up with you. He's going to blow one gout of flame on his next round. As the cart moves speeding along the track, he's going to try and explode it in the middle of everyone. Okay, he gets a 14. +1, so it's a 15. Has anyone got an armor class less than 15?
I don't.
15 exactly right now.
Valrus, yours is 15 exactly, so he does hit you. Which
Yep.
means I need you to roll a dex saving throw. And it's a DC 12. So, gouts of flame burst above you in the corridor as you go zooming through, catching you on the back of your head, burning you for 11 points of damage. As you duck and you pat the flames out, everybody... Yeah, I thought natural fire resistance too.
Do have that. That is that 5 damage or 6?
Make it 5. It is 5.
Con save as well.
Yeah. Cool. What is everyone going to do on their turns? Let's start with Dusted. Break or no break? Okay, let's go to Lunan then.
I still don't see any.
Hold on, I'm busy moving you guys. So there is just the one that tried to blow gouts of flame at you, which is literally just about there at the end of the corridor. It seems to be slowing down. That is the only one that you currently see now, as you move around the bend at high speed.
I think he's out of range. Poor Toll the Dead.
He is at 70 feet.
Yeah. I think I will just look ahead to see if there's anything happening in the tunnel as far as I can.
Okay, cool. Vargo.
Currently, only one following us. Isn't that right?
Yeah. Who's slowly disappearing out of range and view.
Yeah, in that case, same thing. I will look straight ahead, see what awaits us.
Alright, Valrus.
70 feet away. Will also look ahead.
Cool. And Yelena, what are you doing with the break?
Maintaining speed.
So you're gonna dab the break, are you? You're gonna maintain speed to keep it at 200.
Yeah, I can't quite tell what's around the corner, so she'll play it a bit safe, having like 2 people almost fall out of her car. Well, no, 1 actually, but Varus kind of counts.
Just, I'm expecting us to shoot out of the hole of the mountain at any moment.
Or into the mouth of a dragon. I already said this.
And yeah, Dusted, you're back. What are you doing with the break?
I'm dabbing it. I've been here for. Did I miss something? Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm dabbing it.
Okay, you're dabbing. Alright, so both carts you manage to maintain speed as you shoot down this gentle corner. And you're speeding along at 200 when all of a sudden you feel a lurch in the pit of your stomach just as the carts tip forward and speed off, shooting downhill. You grab the brake and you start to just dab it and make sure it doesn't pick up too much speed. Thankfully, you've been concentrating on doing that. When behind you, you hear the faint shrieking Strider being pushed to its limits, fading away. and in the quiet, you're all concentrating, looking forward. And by the end of the round, in the distance, just on the bottom of the hill, in the straight run forwards, a light, almost hanging off the side of the wall. And there's a box underneath it, with a pole sticking up out of it. It's the top of the next round. Dusted, what are you doing with the break?
Since we are sort of outrunning them, Dustin's going to try to slow us a bit.
Okay, so you're going to spend your action slowing the cart down. Vargo.
Not much I can do, really. I suppose I will dodge.
Okay. Lunan.
I would like to look ahead on that box to see what it is.
Okay,
I assume. Yeah.
Roll a perception check for me.
I really like this die. It shows me fishes and whales.
From this distance, it looks like a junction box. Yeah, you.
Yeah.
It controls the tracks if they're switching sides.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Valrus, what are you doing?
Preparing for anything.
All right.
So nothing really.
Nothing really. Yelena?
Should just maintain speed.
Okay.
Well, that's going to be interesting because I'm slowing.
Oh.
As you come shunting down the hill, slowly maintaining speed, you manage to turn and look as the growing light begins to come closer. And then, bam! Right into the back of Dusted, who's busy slowing down.
What are you going so slow for?
I need everyone to roll a dexterity
It is a roller
saving
coaster.
throw, please.
Dexterity saving throw. Oh no.
As you both ram together, slowing down to 150 feet.
Oh.
So
Lunan.
close to a 1.
It's nice knowing you all.
The shunt from the cart knocks you loose as you lose your grip and try and grab hold, falling backwards. I need you to roll a strength saving throw, please.
Even better.
20 more lightning blows for you.
Huh?
Okay. Bear with me while I update the cart. Right, Lunan, I also need you to make a concentration check, please.
Fair enough. For the spell,
For the spell,
yeah. I will do it so with advantage due to the ring.
Okay.
15.
15 is enough. That's not a problem at all. Right, both cars rammed in together, moving along at 150. By the end of the round, you make it to what looks like the junction box. Lunan, you spent half of your turn pulling yourself up from having nearly fallen off. Is there anything particularly you want to do with your turn, or are you going to concentrate on getting up?
When I get back into the court.
Concentrate on getting up, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Dusted.
Well, he is probably gonna shout a lot of let's see, a lot of dwarvish explicits at Jalena, and not have his hand on the brake at all.
Okay. You're gonna spend your turn. At which case, Hugh looks up and you're, oh wow, dude, you're like proper pissed, yeah. Oh. As you spend your turn doing that as well.
I just want to go fast.
Alright, I have just been rear-ended by a fucking elf. What do you want?
Alright.
Buster says to Hugh in Dwarvish.
Valrus. Oh, Yelena, can you speak Dwarvish?
I don't believe I can.
Alright, we'll get to you at the end, but let's see what Valrus is doing first.
I'd like to intercept and pull the brake if possible.
Okay.
Oh!
Alright, you're gonna do that. As the Dustin is shouting obscenities at you, Valrus gets up and he just shakes his head and puts his hand on the brake.
What? I don't need a backseat driver. I will throw you out if you don't let go of the brake.
That sounds like a contested strength check to me.
You
Let's go rollies.
don't have your potion at least.
Oh, don't worry, I rolled a 3.
Yes.
No!
Alright, so you spend the turn struggling with Valrus, who manages to yank the brake away from you. Vargo.
I look what they are doing and say, I feel safe to myself.
Okay. Alright. In the ensuing struggle, Yelena, what did you want to do with the brake? Let go or
Let go. Yeah, she wants to make Valrus let go, because I think Dustin has let go his.
so are
I
you
mean,
actually-
Dustin is just there shaking his fist at you and not paying any attention to the brake.
Yeah, he's not paying attention, so she wants to.
Alright, but in the meantime, then the struggle has actually maintained speed of the cart. So by the end of the turn, that wrestling of the brake resulted in you dropping off 50 feet behind the cart ahead.
Look what you've done now. We are so far behind, it is unbelievable.
Good!
Let go of the brake. Or get back in your own cart.
Right.
We're too far behind for that.
I wonder whose fault that is.
Yours.
And
You're the one who put the brake on.
I'll do it again.
okay. And that is the view coming up for the next round. But this is where we're going to take our break. Let's do 15 minutes, quarter past. We'll be back in a jiffy.
Alright.
That's a blockage.
Okay. So in our last session, our team found themselves in 2 mining carts, fleeing Hrakhamar, running away from giant striders and fire newts, chasing them through the tunnels. They ran over a couple of bridges, outran a couple of fire newts that have just managed to break free as they move into their 8th round, speeding along the tracks of the tunnels underneath the Hrakhamar mine. Over to you. Let me see. As you're about to shoot past the junction box, Dusted, what are you doing?
I don't think Dustin noticed the junction box, so he is just gonna grab a hold of the brake and then dab it to try to close the distance back again.
So, dabbing we said is to maintain speed.
Yeah, but
So
since he
you're
knows that there's a speed maniac behind him, dabbing seems so he can just let go when they're close enough.
Okay, so you're gonna break.
No, not break, dab. So he's dabbing while looking backwards, because he knows if Jalena speeds up again, she will reach him eventually.
I'll explain it the same way to you then. There's 3 settings. Go faster.
Yeah, so I'm keeping
maintain
speed. I'm
slow
keeping
down.
speed, yeah.
Okay.
Because
maintain
I'm expecting her to speed up.
Okay, Lunan, what are you doing?
I just want to confirm that there are archways in front of us and not the metal wall.
It is an archway, that is correct. From here you can easily see it's a well-made craftsmanship. Definitely dwarven.
And are there any type of text telling you where it's going?
Can you speak and read dwarven?
Let me check. I don't think I can, but let me check. No.
So no. None that you know of.
Okay. Can I see where we're on our way going right now?
At the moment, no, but as you go shooting past, you're 50 feet ahead of the other one. You appear to be headed straight ahead or left. Anything else?
No, I will leave it at that.
Okay, in which case then let's find out Vargo.
Alright. As soon as they pass through, I will use Mage Hand to pull the thingy.
Okay. Valrus, you have got control of the brake.
I will give it back to Yarlena.
Okay. Yelena.
That's right. I'm in control now. And she's gonna let go of the brake.
Alright. And you let go of the brake.
She will warn Dusted.
How?
She'll yell, "I'm speeding up, Dusted! Don't you dare brake on me again!"
He's 50 feet ahead of you. You might have to shout it a little bit.
Yeah, she'll shout it really loudly.
Okay. As you get handed the brake from Valrus, you go shooting through. The front cart shoots past the junction box, rumbling left and right as it starts to toddle and shake. As you continue moving, the second cart makes it to the junction box, and as you do, the spectral hand... Is it invisible or is it spectral?
Nah, it's normal. It's a spectral.
Yeah. Grabs the
you can
junction
see.
box and pulls the stick, which is greeted as you pass the box, flying through a keening sound of metal scraping on metal. As you slowly watch the first cart disappearing straight down, and yours begins to turn around the other.
Now you two don't have to discuss about the speed.
Well, hopefully we find them again.
Hopefully.
One of the groups goes straight into the dragon mouth.
As
Oh,
you
please no.
As you do, you both hit your junctions respectively at 150 going through. Right. Dusted. What are you doing this turn?
Dustin just watches in horror as the other cart speeds out of sight, and looks to Hugh and Lunan. I think we just lost the others.
Lunan, what are you doing?
Shrugs and looks confused and tries to see what's ahead.
Okay. Yelena. You go shooting past the junction box, and as you do, you grab hold of the brake and you decide not to apply any brakes at all. Letting the cart freewheel, you seem to be catching up to the others when all of a sudden, they veer off to the left and then into the darkness disappear. As you see the cart drop out of your vision, and you shoot off to the right hand side, and you can almost feel the incline that you're moving at as you slowly disappear away from them. What are you doing with the brake?
If they're going up an incline, she's keeping her hands off the brake.
Okay. Valrus.
I'm gonna stare into the distance, see what's up ahead.
Alright, Vargo.
Same thing.
It is currently dark,
until
you can't see anything.
No, I have dark vision and
You can't
Yeah,
see.
he's had that. Yeah, for a long time ago. It lasts for 8 hours.
Okay,
We've not been inside the mine for 8 hours yet, I think.
my bad. I thought that ran. Got you. Okay, who have I left out? That's everyone, isn't it? Okay,
If
so
not Saribi did anything.
as you both go flying off your separate ways, Lunan and Dusted, you feel that lurch in the pit of your stomach as the cart drops again and dips down and speeds all the way to the bottom. I need both of you to roll a dexterity saving throw to hold onto the cart as you go flying down. And while you do, the other cart, you slowly start going up an incline. It's very slight, I have to admit at this point. Dusted, you're good. And Lunan, you are also good. As your cart drops out of sight and then lurches and shoots up again and starts to pick up speed, slow down, get to the top of a hill, and then it drops down the second one. And as it does, it hits a spiral. And we switch to Yelena's cart, where you go screaming around the small incline and then all of a sudden up onto a flat bridge. And as you do, the cart almost starts to pick up speed again as it moves through another archway, and you can see below you another big lava pit area. Oh, I'm going to give you some of that around the side as well. Did you get that?
Yeah.
Alright, let's go for a square. Let's do this. You will have seen that. Junction. Okay. Next round. Your cart is moving at 150. You maintain speed?
I kept the brake off while they went uphill, but I imagine it probably didn't build up much speed going uphill.
Surprisingly, it is now going at 200.
Oh.
Yes. Moving into the next round, what are you going to do with the brake, Yelena?
Maintain speed.
Okay,
Unless it-
keep it at 200.
Yeah, unless it looks... I can't quite tell from the thing. Unless it looks like there's a corner coming in, then she... Well, no, she'll just maintain speed, actually. Yeah.
Okay. Dusted, what about you?
Well, he has no indication for his fellow travelers that they need to stop or anything, so he just increases speed. Like he hasn't touched the brake.
Okay, so you're gonna go faster then.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Lunan, what about you? As you look around, you can actually see some light ahead of you, I have to admit. Let me... Lunan?
I don't do anything in particular, just keeping an eye open
Alright.
and trust that Dusted will not drive us into a lava pit.
Valrus and Vargo?
Same here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, until there is something to do, I will brace myself.
Okay. So, in which case then when there is something to do, I'll let you know. As you speed off across, you seem to be picking up speed, both carts, ending the turn at 200. Then, up ahead, Yelena, your cart flies across a bridge. Roll a perception check for me, please. A 14 is good enough. If I can get everyone else to roll a perception check as well, please. Lunan, you're bang on. Vargo, you're good. Dusted, very good. Valrus, actually, yeah, you pass as well. Oh, that was Lunan, yeah, is bang on. Okay. The carts go shooting through as Lunan, your cart does a small spiral, and then there's some light that comes up ahead. And as it does, you notice you enter a small little area. There's lava flowing underneath you, and as you look up and to your right, both you and Dusted, Lunan, you just managed to see something shooting past. Not 100% certain on it, but Dusted, you clearly make out it's the other cart. There must be a good 400 feet high up and to your right, passing over a bridge and through a little gap that you've just managed to see. Over there.
Well,
The rest of you, you're on the other cart, and as you go shunting across the bridge, you look ahead of you. There is a turn coming up. And from where you are seated, looking out over at the lava pit, you notice a creature on the bottom of the mine shaft. Probably a good 800 feet down, quite far below you. And floating on the surface by its feet are the remains of the bridge, which you can only assume must be at the end of the next turn. Yelena, what are you doing?
She putting on the brake just slows you down, doesn't it?
Correct.
Yeah, she'll put on the brake just for this round, just because it looks like there's a bit of a corner coming up.
Okay. Vargo, what are you gonna do?
I think I will say to Yelena, we are probably going to need all the speed we can gather for that thing. I say, pointing at the broken bridge.
That is very true. Well, I suppose I will let go of the brake. Hold on tight.
Time to fall in.
Yeah, if possible, I'll change it to she lets go of the brake instead of
Yeah.
holding on.
This is why everything goes simultaneously. Valrus, what are you doing?
Preparing to jump in case we don't make it.
Okay, so you're actually bracing yourself like an Olympic sprinter about to shoot off the 100-meter mark.
Yep.
Okay, Dusted, Lunan, sorry, what are you up to?
Nothing new, no.
Okay, now that you've seen them through the gap, you can see them shuffling about as they disappear out of sight. Dusted, what are you doing?
Busted just tries to make a mental compass of where they would disappear to.
Okay.
And it's sort of in position to himself, so they are sort of northeast. Well, obviously, I don't know where north is at the moment, but sort of like, okay, try to make an inner compass of where they are.
Can you roll a survival check for me, please?
Yeah, never mind that. They were over there, maybe, I guess.
Up and to your right is what you know, that's it.
But I mean, we haven't slowed down at all. So he looks to Hugh and says, "Well, fellow, do we have any idea where we're going at this point? Do you know this place?"
Oh, it's a mine. It's going to the end, mate.
And I guess the dragon is at the end?
Well, why you ask me? It depends where the end is.
Right. Yeah, okay, so me and Hugh are not the sharpest tools in the toolbox at the moment.
100% correct.
I'm sorry, Lunan. I'm sorry you had to witness this, but
Okay, in which case, both carts go speeding through, hitting 250. As you hit a bend, I need everyone in Yarlena's cart to make a dex saving throw, please, to ensure you're holding on.
Haha.
Wow. Right, so Vargo, this turn you're gonna slip. Roll a strength check for me, please. Just to see if you manage to grab on as you're slipping off the cart.
Yerlina did a natural 20.
Yelena, nat 20. Nice. There
Yeah,
you go.
well,
Okay.
My
so,
dice turned into a bird. Well, a crystal bird.
in fact, I'm sorry, Valrus, but because you guys are doing 250, you fail your dex saving throw as well. I need you to roll a strength check, please.
That's fine. Not fine.
A 10 is actually going to be enough. As you manage to grab yourself, you pull yourself through, but you see Vargo slip. Yelena, you notice it instantly. Vargo slips. There's no way that he can grab hold of something in time before the jump.
And I try and whip him.
You can reach out an arm and try and grab him if you want.
Oh, okay. Is that close? Okay, yeah.
This
Sure,
is all
sure.
happening at the same time. I just need you to roll a strength check for me.
Strength check. Oh. 9 is probably not enough.
Alright, Vargo, you can use your action this turn to try and grab Yelena's flailing hand.
Alright. As an action, I will try that. Let's see. I don't know, is that a success or...
That is actually enough. Yes, you beat her 9, no problem at all. As you're sliding back, you miss the grab, but she thrusts her arm forward and you grab on, spending the round, clutching for dear life as you pull yourself back up into position. Valrus, what are you doing with this round?
Positioning myself back in the cart and preparing to fall in the lava.
Okay, so all of you have saved Vargo from slipping off the cart using your action, which means that the brake is unattended. As the cart rumbles around the corner, it picks up a blistering pace down to the other cart. Dusted, what are you doing with the brake?
Dusted is still having a conversation with Hugh about
Okay.
where it's going. So yeah, there's no one attending it. There's not enough brain cells to go around except for Lunan in this cart. Sorry.
Okay. Lunan?
Looking at them arguing, reaches out and breaks because it feels 250 is a bit too quick.
Alright, so you're going to spend your action braking. I need you... Going at 250, I need you to roll... Hold on, where's the braking? I need you to roll a strength check for me, please.
See?
Okay, and can you roll a d10, please?
It will break the brakes.
A 6 is not, no. As you grab the handle and you start to pull, there's a lot of resistance. In order to slow it down, you have to give it a real firm tugging. And you manage to slow yourself down 50 feet this turn. The cart goes shooting through. Top of the next round. Yelena, your cart is doing about 300 now, as it shoots out around the bend. All of you have managed to stabilize yourselves, and as you just sort of lift your heads to see where it's going, you hit the broken edge of the railway track. I need everyone to roll a dexterity check for me, please.
Oh my god.
Oh no!
Wow.
God.
Wow. Okay.
It was going so well.
Now, this is a group dex check. I need someone to roll for Mushari, please. As the cart goes
Alright.
flying off, what do we... Zara's got a 20. So that's 34 altogether.
There he goes, Musarif.
Oh, very good.
Okay, and as you do, the cart hits the end, and almost taking you by surprise, both Yelena and Varga at the front, you almost topple over backwards. And as you do, lifting some of the weight off the front of the cart, it lifts gently, ever so slightly, as it flies off the edge of the ramp and shoots all the way across to the other side, where it comes crashing down onto the track. I need everyone to roll a strength saving throw to hold on, please.
Nope.
Vargo and Valrus, right? Can someone roll for Musharif, please?
Already.
Alright, the cart goes ramping 20 feet across in the air, straight forward onto the track on the other side, as it shunts and rolls. As a group save, that is just enough for everybody to hold on. Unfortunately, Valrus and Vargo, next turn you don't get an action because you're holding on and recovering.
Alright.
Just out of interest, did any of you scream while you're flying through the air?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Yalana probably would have. Happy screaming.
Alright, as you woohoo through the air, you manage to smash down onto the side and land. With a 21, you just put a hand out to reinforce Valrus and Vargo from falling over. Musharib helps as well. And the cart flies across on the track, screeching against the corner as it slowly takes another turn. I do need all of you to roll a dexterity check for me, please.
Oh boy. She will probably put the brake on, I guess, this round as well, because they are going very, very fast. What's the check?
Oh, Vargo, you're not rolling very well tonight, are you?
London
Nope.
Scorpion.
Alright, everyone else seems to have made it. Valrus, yeah. Vargo, as the car shunts and screeches, it almost bangs into your knee on the side as a rock pops out where you are, shakes you loose. I need you to roll a strength saving throw for me, please. That's enough.
Oh.
As you manage to stabilize yourself on the cart, let's jump back to the other. Lunan, you've just applied the brake and you slow the cart down as it comes to... slows down to 200 as you go belting through. You can almost swear that you hear like a scream going, ah, and then followed by woohoo. from the same area where you saw the other cart flying past. Both of you, what are you going to do?
What happens?
Luna will continue the braking until we are like 150 in speed.
Okay. Dusted?
We're in the dark now, though.
You are. Dusted.
Yeah, Dusted is no longer control the brake.
Correct.
So he's just taking in the surroundings, trying to listen for another set of wheels anywhere in that he can hear from the position that he's in.
Okay. You do hear the screaming, by the way.
Ah, okay, yeah. Oh, well, they're fine. They're still able to produce sound.
Yeah. So is there anything you're going to do with your turn?
No.
Okay.
He's actually content that someone else is taking over the responsibility of the brake.
Alright, as the two carts go flying, cruising along, Yelena, did you say you were holding on the brake, maintaining speed?
She'll pull the brake for this round, just to slow them down
Alright,
a little bit.
I need you to roll a strength check for me, please.
Sure. Oh, could have been better.
And now a d10. Okay, as you start fighting with the brake coming out of that momentous jump and turn, the cart is going at 200, pulling, and then you hear a ting, ting, a snap, as all of a sudden then you look behind you and part of the brake pad is lying on the track behind you as you go zooming through.
Oh no!
You slowly, with no control over the brakes, begin to pick up speed again as you go shunting through the corridor.
We have a very slight problem. We have no brake.
What have you done?
What do you mean, what did I do? I pulled the brake to slow us down and it broke. That is not my fault, is it? It is the fault of this stupid thing.
Don't worry, Jarlena, you were not using it anyways.
This is true, nothing's changed.
Well, at least we should probably try and slow ourselves down. Somehow. I would try using my frost spell when I have time.
Alright, and as you start to discuss this, you come shooting out of the turn on the bottom. And as you do, Valrus, you're looking back at your Lyn and you go, oh, but you weren't using the brake anyway. Dusted and Lunan, just as you're getting there, the other cart comes racing through ahead of you and zooms off 50 feet in front of you.
Oh, there they are. That's convenient.
Yep.
Alright, Dusted, what are you doing with the brake? Oh wait, you're not on the brake. Lunan, what are you doing with the brake?
No.
If they are going really quick, Luna will let go just to try to at least start not losing as much ground to them.
If you can stay close to them, I might have an idea.
Yeah.
Oh, you could just
No, but I'm letting it go.
until you catch up to them.
This
But we
round I'm
can't.
letting it go, so we'll see.
Okay. You catch up to them, but not enough, fast enough. Yelena, Valrus, and Vargo, are any of you going to try and do anything to try and fix the brake?
Oh, we can fix it. Oh.
You don't know.
I do not have mending.
She'll turn to Musharib and ask him, do you know how to fix this brake?
Oh, aye, lassie, I do.
Oh, please.
All we need to do is turn the cart around and go and fetch the pieces that you left out on the track.
Oh, I see. Does anybody have a mage hand?
Yes.
Do you mind going to pick them up?
Let's get out of the cart, walk up to it,
Who
and
said you mage hand, you idiot?
how far is the stuff now?
The cart is moving at 300 feet
Yeah.
per turn. The stuff is now about 600 feet behind you.
All right, let me just go off the cart, walk about 500 and something feet up, and
Okay, I get the point. She'll lean down a bit and try and put what was it? Rare frost on one of the wheels.
Okay, so you're gonna potentially try and slow them down by freezing them.
Yes. Because Rare Frost has like it takes 10 foot off. Something is
10
better than nothing.
10 foot of 50 feet gain every day, every turn.
I don't think I have anything else.
I will say you could probably manage to maintain speed by doing that without it going faster.
Okay, yeah.
In fact,
she does it every round.
If you're quick enough, you might even be able to shave 10 feet off for that.
Okay, yeah, she'll try doing that.
Alright, so Vargo and Valrus over the next couple of rounds, is there anything that you're going to try and do to assist, or what's your plan?
I'm trying to think of
His
ways,
plan.
but I cannot. No, I don't see any way.
Okay.
Trying to brace myself, I suppose.
Alright, then let's switch back to the other team. Lunan and Dusted, you are slowly, as you let go of the brake, you manage to gain, but it's probably going to be another 2 rounds before you actually nudge into the back of them.
Dusted is handing one end of his rope to Hugh.
Uh-huh.
Oi, laddie, I need you to tie this to the as fat, tie it to this cart as much as possible, and then Dustin is going to tie the other end to an arrow, preparing to shoot it at the other cart.
Okay. I mean, in 6 seconds, you're going to probably nudge into them.
Yeah, but if we have to break them, well, I can throw it to them then. But yeah,
Well,
who
I
gives
mean,
a
the
shit?
choice is yours. I mean, roll a d20 if
Yeah.
you want to try and attack the cart.
Yeah, but I will have to roll d20 anyway to throw it to them, I guess. So
I also need both you and Lunan to roll a perception check for me, please. DC 12.
12.
Nice. As you are deciding to do this, you notice that something falls off the cart in front, and then they start arguing against each other, and no one's manning the brake. Then Yelena bends over and starts shooting ice at the wheels, which Luna you immediately notice as attempt to try and slow them down. The brakes have broken.
I think they are without brakes over there.
Well, then it's probably a good idea to tie the two ones together if we're the only ones who can brake. And that's what I'm doing right now, asking Hugh to tie it to this card, and then I'll either throw or shoot the rope at them at the other end. And
Okay.
hopefully we should be able to. Or I can use my grappling hook, I guess.
Ian, can I ask at what speeds we're going?
So you are currently going at 200.
Yeah.
Having let go of the brake from the last round. You'll gain 50 feet around, and they're currently at 300, so it'll take you 2 rounds to get to them, or even. I don't think
Match their speed.
Yeah, to match their speed. You do seem to be gaining on them. Whatever Yelena is doing up ahead. In 2 rounds, you will be toe to toe with them.
And I will just not break this round as well.
Okay. And the next round?
Yeah, if their tries to slow down doesn't work quick enough, I will skip breaking the next round as well so we can catch up. Try to help them.
Okay, so for the next couple of rounds then, the two of you freestyle it all the way into the back of them while Dusted prepares a rope and Hugh ties it around the wagon. The rest of you attempting to assist Yelena in freezing notice the other car speeding up towards you. Not as quick as you'd like, but within 2 rounds they manage to come within touching distance of you and then gently nudge you as the two carts touch each other. Dusted.
Prepare to be rear-ended. Yeah. Dustin is yelling as we're coming into the approach to grab the other end of the rope, and he tries to lean forward to hand it over to either Vargo or Valrys.
Okay, you guys see them
yelling at them to tie it to their cart so we can try to stop them.
I proceed to do that. Varys, can you assist me, please? This might need to be quick.
I will try to assist.
I don't know how we are handing it back and forth. If there is, because we are speeding at a very high speed, do we have to roll anything?
You do, yes. I need everyone to roll a d20 for me, please, and just have their proficiency modifier.
Is it +3 or by this time?
You should have +3, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, Yelena, good thing you're not involved.
Yes.
I'm really interested in Dusted, Loon, and Valrys and Vargo's rolls.
What do you want us to
+3,
roll again?
16.
Just give me a 20. Vargo, give me a d20.
A 20, okay.
+3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright. Loon, and you assist with Dusted in this, and Valrys, you manage to catch on, but not before Vargo you realise, oh wait, they're planning on lashing the two cars together. The brakes are out. It should work. It's a reasonable plan. Vargo, you just need to make sure that those knots securing them are 100% correct, otherwise it might just tear apart.
Alrighty.
As you guys set about with Vargo overseeing, you manage to tie the two carts together. It takes you about 3 or 4 minutes of working as a team in the dark. Right, once that is done, what is the plan?
I would say I will first start to make sure we don't increase speed and see how it holds. And if that seems to work, I will apply pressure and start braking.
Okay, so I first need you to roll a dex check for me.
Come on.
Okay, now I need you to roll a strength check. You don't quite get the feel of the brake as you'd like to, so you just decide to go ahead and mash it a little bit. And as you do, can you roll a d20 for me, please? With a 3, one of the ropes.
I don't know what's happening now, it's rolling by itself.
It's rolling history checks for some reason.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
For some reason, one of the
Wanted
ropes,
to-
the tension builds and it snaps one of the ropes holding onto the cart in front of you. And you can remember reading something in a book a long time ago about runaway carts, and with that history check, I mean, you know when history repeats itself, you know, maybe just think of some way better to do this. History tells us the carts will crash.
Abandoned ship.
What are you guys gonna do? One of the ropes holding the carts together snaps as Lunan applies a little bit of brake.
There's one seat available in the.
There was only one rope. I only have one, so I don't know if anyone else tied one.
Yeah, I pulled mine out and tied them as they were before.
So you're gonna read.
Luna takes out his as well, so we have double the rope.
Okay. Alright,
And
so you guys.
Astrid is just gonna try to hold the two bits together for now, because else we're speeding away from each other.
Okay. Then Dustin, roll a strength check for me, please.
Strength, yeah.
Who's going to?
Yeah.
Who's gonna man the brake on the other cart? Luna, is it still gonna be you?
Yeah.
Okay. In which case, give me a d20 roll, please.
D20 roll.
Yeah, just roll a d20 for me. Alright. Feeling out the tension between the two ropes this time is a lot more simple as you slowly start applying pressure, trying to maintain speed on the carts. You feel like it's working. You can hear the metal grinding on metal as the cart that you're on slowly begins to decelerate, and it almost then begins to jerk as the ropes get taut and slack and taut, but it's working. Jerky, but after about 3 or 4 rounds of this, you manage to get both of the carts down to about 200.
Nice. Luna will feel safe when we're around 100, so he will try to continue until then.
Okay. Getting down to 100 is not a problem at all. Is ever anyone else going to do anything in the next couple of rounds that I need to be aware of?
I will keep an eye on the ropes just in case they start breaking again.
Okay.
If our cart does start picking up too much speed, Yolanda will start putting the ice on it again just to make sure it doesn't go too fast.
Okay, so you guys are going to concentrate on maintaining speed, slowing down when needed. Yeah? Then can I have one big group dex check, please? And it's a DC 10, given the speed that you're traveling at.
I
No,
rolled a
Okay. Overall, with a DC 10, with 4 on a group check with a 40, you guys managed to pull through, maintaining speed at about 100. Lunan, you slip and fall a couple of times, losing hold of the brake and getting up as the carts move through over bumps and around corners. Valrus and Vargo, the two of you manage to hold on, but every now and then a bump takes you by surprise as you drop and you fall. Yelena, you're quite at home, manning the brake. Dusted, not so much either, but you managed to pull through. The carts continue on rumbling away at 100 feet every round, and given the speed that you're traveling, you fly through the tunnels avoiding screeching bats as they fly across when they hear you coming, avoiding some of the corners and caverns that you pass through as you're holding on, sitting on these flatbeds. You rise up a couple of hills, you drop down another couple of hills, and it is about 2 hours later when you start to feel the cart flattening out. It's only doing 100, but you can hear the sound of water, roaring water, coming from the corridor up ahead at the end. And as you peer down into the distance, you can almost see a shining bright light at the end of the tunnel. Is there anything anybody wants to do in the meantime?
Not really.
Just slow down.
Yeah. Does it look like kind of like daylight? Sunlight?
Yeah, it does look a little bit like daylight. It's like sunlight peeping through.
Yeah, she'll start. If she isn't already, she'll start using the ice to help them slow down, and she'll tell Dusted to start slowing down.
Okay.
Dustin looks at his hands and goes like, okay, because it's not him manning the brakes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, she'll yell anyway.
Okay. As you yell and you start trying to slow the carts down, you manage to make a small dent into the speed of them. Within about 10 or 15 seconds, you can hear the sound of the water roaring loud as it comes ever so closer. The cart moving along and bursting out into daylight. Oh, that's my map.
Yeah, I was just about to ask if I'm on the wrong map.
You should be on the right map now. You just need to zoom in a bit. Alright, bursting out into daylight. Ahead of you, you can see a large cave with an open sky view. It goes up about 200 feet into the daylight. The bright sunshine far above creates long shafts of light that temporarily blind you as you take in the surrounding cave now that your dark vision has disappeared. Blinking away some of the sunspots, the cart then rumbles over a small, narrow, makeshift wooden bridge, all the while slowing down. Finally, your eyes adjust to the light as the cart crosses to the other side. I need everyone to roll a perception check for me, please. Right, so Yelena, Dustin, and Varga, you don't really see that much. I mean, you pass by a waterfall. There's a bridge going over, and there's a pond just under the entrance that you've come in. Belris, you notice the waterfall is about 60 foot high as it pours out of the north wall, forming into a large pool below you. What looks about 40 feet and quite deep. All you can hear is the sound of crashing water roaring in your ears and the carts jingling and creaking along. Lunan, I am going to message you on Discord. as you go rumbling over, your keen eyes notice something more than usual. The cart then gently begins to turn left around the bridge, and with a little quick shimmy on the tracks, you pass another junction. Just do this quickly. Ooh, there we go. To your right, you can see a small passageway leading into a larger space before the cart quickly begins to slow as you move upwards on an incline. And then, just as it's about to stop fully, it begins rolling backwards.
I pull the brake.
Alright, I need you to roll a strength check for me, please. As you've swapped positions and you are now the leading cart, all of the strain from the other cart will be on top of you as well. Just let me turn this correctly. Okay. Right, with a 14, can you roll a d10 for me, please? Okay, a 4 is enough. That as you do, the other cart slowly begins accelerating and bang, smashes into the back of you. Pulling on the brake as the shunt happens, you hear a small and then the brakes kick in as you manage to slowly start slowing down the cart. It is now traveling at 50 feet per round. Instead of picking up speed, it slowly begins to coast to a halt. Let me just do this. And then the rest of you notice at the bottom of the track, as you go around the corner, there is a barrier on the bottom. Lunan, I need you to roll one more strength check for me, please.
Good.
And then can everyone else roll a dexterity check for me, please? As you slam on the brakes, all of a sudden it goes. The other cart slowly bumps as it picks up speed, and then boom, boom, boom again as well. And just as the cart is about to hit the barrier, you manage to slow down all the way, and it stops almost short. But the couple of shunts knock Valrus loose, who almost falls forward from one cart into the next, and then comes to a halt. You're the only one who got it below a 10, Valrus. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Looking about you, the rest of you, you notice the floor of this cavern, where the carts have stopped as you look down on the ground, is littered with skeletons and corpses. Looking around, you can see there is a large corridor leading out of this pool where you're in. Behind you, the carts, the track leads upwards in a spiral, which goes up, out into daylight. This is definitely a dwarven mine. You are at least 500 or 600 feet deep. You can tell it's late afternoon, almost coming into evening. And all you can hear is the sound of chittering. And the roar of the waterfall.
Well, that was enough. Oh my god.
It was quite fun, you know.
The first hour, yeah.
The whole thing was very fun. Except for when the break broke and then the virus blamed me.
Because it probably was your fault.
How is it my fault? If it's faulty, it's faulty.
I
It's a
don't
good
know
thing
what
I
you
didn't
did
use
with
it earlier.
Being in such a tight space with her is giving me a headache. Can we get out?
Hugh Musarif, are you alright?
Oh, aye, a little bit banged up like, but I may
Pretty
need
good.
a hand. It's a little bit high off the ground. Ugh.
I help him get out the cart.
Okay.
I assume there's been over 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah, it's been 2 hours. So, yeah, you need to get rid of your aura, don't you?
Yeah.
The rest of you, are you getting off the cart? What are you doing?
Yeah, getting off.
I'm asking the dwarves. What is this place exactly?
Well, he'll tell you where this place is. You
Oh,
turn,
that's not good.
you turn to look at Hugh, and he hasn't moved off the flatbed at all. In fact, he's sitting on his bum, holding his knees in his hands, and he's like, "Oh, we need to leave. We shouldn't be here.
Oh, Hugh, was this the place where...
As you stand there looking at Hugh, a sweet, almost melodic sound reaches your ears. Svaust bewegle vasia, bektrikak hak, aklomixvern. Sishilta namuerux.
Do I recognize the language?
You do not.
Any one of us?
None of you.
Definitely not.
What
Is
was
that a
that?
dragon?
I
Just
need
it snorts a bit.
everyone to roll a perception check for me, please.
Well, that should do it.
Wow.
I
So,
rolled a 1.
Argo, good roll. Is that a nat 20?
Yes.
Indeed. Okay. All of you hear a voice speaking out from the other side of the cavern. After a great big intake of breath. Why? I do believe my leftovers have arrived. Come to lend me a hand, eh, dwarf? Kneel and I will spare you and your rebel. Latched onto the walls, Fargo, almost disguised, is a red dragon, trying to blend into the granite tall walls in the dark in the corner in front of you.
Huh. Alright. Does it seem hostile towards us, or...
He just called us food.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose you're right.
Oh, but wait! As the dragon lifts its head further up, higher off the ground. What is this? Is this a trinket that you have come to offer me? And then the rest of you notice detaching itself off the wall, stepping onto the floor. 30 feet away from you, the red dragon comes out of its hiding. Unless my eyes deceive me, I do believe that is Moradin's gauntlet. The dragon licks its lips as it looks at the one dwarf and then the other, and begins to inhale. I need everybody to roll initiative for me, please. Let me first clear the combat tracker. Okay. Oh dear God, she got a 1.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Wow.
How rude.
Indeed, how rude. Hey? So, top of the chain then, Lunan, it is you.
Not sure there's super much. I think I will go with a true and tested spiritual weapon.
Okay, let me add a spiritual weapon to your canvas, sir.
Letting it appear next to the dragon.
Next to you on the side.
That works.
Alrighty.
And at the same time trying to attack. That's a 20 to hit.
A 20 hits.
Seven damage.
7 points of damage, okay.
And then I follow that up with Hold the Dead. Wisdom save.
Oh, a wisdom saving throw. Oh, alright. She got a 5, and when my dice roll, they sound like weapons in battle clashing each other. They sound so cool.
And she got some damage. I rolled
Alright.
2d12s and gave her an additional 9 damage of necrotic.
Okay. The dragon.
And then
Yeah. Ooh.
I would like to move.
Okay. And as you move, the dragon reels back, baring her teeth. Is that your turn?
Is it possible to move underneath this, or only on top of it, or not at all? Or
You can move underneath it, yes.
I will more or less stay here.
Okay. That brings us to Dusted.
Dust is going to use his action to equip his shields
Uh-huh.
and pull out his rapier. And then he's gonna rush towards the dragon. Sort of saying, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me, in repeat succession. And then using feline agility to move around the dragon to its, I don't know if its side, if it's facing that way, and then using both feline agility and action surge to attack it,
Holy shit.
trying to drag its ire towards him.
Oh, okay. So you're in an attempt to turn her around and face you.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
2 attacks with the rapier.
So, firstly, go ahead and roll your attacks.
That's a critical hit
Natural 20.
and a 22.
Hell yeah.
Both of those hit. So,
So that's 18 magical piercing damage. Yeah. And of course, she is marked, so if she does an attack that doesn't involve me, she does so with a disadvantage.
18 damage plus a full d8, 26 damage because it was a crit.
Oh, right, yeah.
Okay. Okay, and let's give her, if she's marked, we will give her his disadvantage. Okay. Is that, now please roll an intimidation check for me. And because you got a crit, I'll give you advantage.
Yeah, that's not that impressive.
Alright, as this small kitty goes scampering across the skeleton-covered floor, stabs the dragon a couple of times. Rawr! Dragon looks around at her. She doesn't avoid her current state of breathing in. She does look at you, but she doesn't turn her attention on you. Yet. Which brings us to Vargo. Closely followed by
Alrighty.
Valrus. In fact, Vargo and Valrus on the same turn.
Mm,
Do you mind if I go first?
not at all.
Alrighty. Bargo moves in the middle.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna need all the meat we can get, and he used a 3rd level spell slot to cast Bless on everyone actually. Lunan, Balwis, Yarlena, myself, and Dustin.
Okay.
And I say to the dragon, you seem intelligent. You might as well stop this nonsense. You're not much for us.
Puny mortal. I'm going to burn you to a crisp.
You may as well try.
Valrus, your turn.
Gonna use his bonus action to summon the hound.
Okay.
Yeah. Say next to Dusted.
This was hell. Remind me, was a hound of.
Hound of Ill Omen.
No, we'll just give you a hellhound as a picture.
Ah!
Right.
What's this?
That's your new friend, Vargo. I think
Enough,
someone next
enough.
to me.
Where do you want the hound?
I want him right there, yes, next to Dusted.
Next to Dusted, okay.
Yes. It should have its own initiative, which I think would be the same as mine. Got a +2 to Dex.
Okay. Are you gonna roll the initiative for it?
Yeah. Here it is, that's a 9.
Plus the dex.
No, a 9 altogether.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, mine went down now.
Yeah. So Vargo has to be. Valrus has to be changed back up to 14. And
14, yeah.
There we go.
And then he will try and frostbite the dragon,
Okay, go ahead.
which is a con save.
Oh my lord.
Woo! Very good. That's 2d6,
2d6.
which is 7.
Now just has disadvantage,
Yes.
regardless of who it attacks.
Yep.
For the first one, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And Valorous will move over there.
Okay. That brings us to Yelena.
Yelena is going to cast. What did I use? Divine Favor as a bonus action.
Okay. Do you want to send that to the log?
Yeah. So just do like an extra 1d4 radiant
Okay.
when I hit.
But it's concentration. Awesome.
Yes.
So you use a bonus action to do that. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't quite remember the rules for cantrips and spells. Can I still use my action to cast Booming Blade? 'Cause I can't quite remember.
Do you know what? Yes.
Okie dokie. Thank you.
It's
Sure,
an
sure.
action and a bonus action, so
Yeah.
One is a leveled spell, another is a cantrip easily.
Cantrips are always okay to do, but
2 spells are always like.
not 2 spells unless you have stuff like Wind and or whatever the other thing is called.
Yeah. Yeah. And then she'll try and hit. Oh wait, I need to run over first.
you do. And you are
Oh.
35 feet
Just,
away.
just
I
a bit
thought I
short.
was closer because everyone else managed to get there. Oh.
Dusted used his feline.
Used feline grace to get where I am. So yeah, I had double speed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Well, she can get to like here. I won't do Booming Blade then. There's no point. I'll cast Ray of Frost then. She stops there.
Okay. Go for it.
Oh my god. Never mind. Don't worry about it.
Had to fail.
The ray of frost goes wide as the initiative then passes to the Hellhound. And this is
Ooh.
not the Hound, it is actually the... What do we call it again?
The Hound of Ill Omen.
Thanks.
And all it can do is attack its target.
Alright, what do you want to roll for it?
Alright, that's a d20 plus 5, and the Direwolf's page says that if there's an ally within 5 feet of the creature, then it gets advantage.
Yep.
Yep. So that is a natural 20.
Holy crap.
That's a 2d6 plus 3. So there we go. That is 7 plus 3. So that's 10. And since it's a crit, it's maximum of the other one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 22, right?
Okay, so 10 plus 12, so yeah, 22.
22.
Total.
Wow. Nice. Okay.
And the dragon has to make a strength save, I believe, of DC 13 only.
If she fails that, I will be sincerely impressed.
Yes.
No, a
Oh,
strength save.
Yeah.
Strength, not dex.
Ah. Did I roll dex? Okay. Why did she get a strength save? Wow. She got a 21 altogether.
Yeah.
The save.
Although that's a strength check, she doesn't actually have a strength save here.
Then it's the same, yeah. It's the same,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I thought. So she makes it. Anything else? Okay. Seeing as it's her turn, oh, god damn it.
Yeah, everyone is spread out now, aren't they? Or hiding behind things.
She's gonna get on her haunches and she's gonna jump and take flight. Dustin and the Direwolf, you get a free opportunity attack.
Oh, bugger.
So 19 plus 5, 24.
Yeah, that hits. 19 hits as well.
Let's see.
9 damage from the rapier. 10? Bloody hell. Okay. As you do, you see the blood spraying and she screams as she flies up, breathes fire straight up ahead of her and belts it out of the mine. She flies at 80 foot, so she uses all of her movement. And she's obviously going to fly as fast as possible, so she'll use her action as well to try and just fly straight out.
Wait, she's making a run for it.
Yes, she is.
Oh, that's not good.
So she went 160 feet straight up.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Does anyone have a ranged spell or anything they can do that can hit her at 160?
160.
I do, but it's disadvantage and it's a longbow.
Yeah, go for it. I'll give you a shot.
Just out of range for me.
Dustin just curses because he has to do this with his shield.
It's a disadvantage already, so you could do it lying upside down if you wanted.
If she's flying straight up, I could cast Moonbeam on her.
Go for it.
23.
Yeah, so she'll cast it.
Dustin,
Like-
that hits.
So that the bottom of the cylinder is basically on the dragon's neck, I guess, if she's like looking up. So that the cylinder is 40 foot high.
Okay, so she's definitely gonna have to fly through it.
Yeah, so I'll post the thingy.
Yeah.
She needs to make a Constitution saving throw. So I'll drop the concentration on Divine Favor to have Moonbeam instead.
Okay, the first one I rolled was a Constitution check, so I have to re-roll to a Con save, and she got a 17.
No. Oh,
She previously got a 20.
half damage.
Half damage. Okay, so go ahead and roll as divine light bursts down. Screams. Hey! She takes.
Not a lot.
Roll a dex saving throw for me, please, Yelena.
Oh boy.
All right, and as that does, you manage to dive out of the way. Staring too close at your own damage, the blood from the wound splatters down, and you instantly know that she's bloodied from that hit.
Sure, inform the others.
All right.
She's blooded.
Within 3 seconds, she's at the top of the shaft already. And being out of range of... Dustin, you hit her as well, but... 180, 360, what's the distance on a longbow?
300.
roll a disadvantage for the next round as well. Because you could probably get another one off.
Oh, it's 600, sorry. Yeah. 19.
19 hits, okay. Go ahead and roll.
11 damage.
Alright, if it's this range of 600, you get another 2 chances. Although
Oh, Jesus.
you get another 1 chance. Because she's going to
Leave
veer.
the shaft, probably.
Yeah. She'll disappear out of distance.
Double crit. You can do it.
No, double disadvantage. Don't say anything.
Well,
Level 1,
same.
okay. As you guys are
Same
standing
difference.
watching Dusted taking pot shots at the dragon fleeing, one of them, 2 of them hits, and then she disappears out of view 300 feet high. You manage to take in your surroundings at the end of the combat. You're standing in a shaft, obviously a mine shaft. Hugh, who hasn't even had a chance to move yet because I didn't put him on the tracker, damn it, finally wakes up out of his reverie as well. But in the mine shaft, it goes up 3 levels, and you can see that there is a track that leads up and around the center of the shaft. As you are busy looking up and taking in the sight, you can almost hear clashing of metal. Everyone roll a perception check for me, please. Okay, Valrus, you do not manage to hit it, but Yelena, you do. The clashing is coming from the upper level at the top, and Yelena, you don't make out much, but you recognize it as weapons clashing together, steel on steel. The rest of you, you can hear some screaming. Definitely somebody like, ah! And then a body comes tumbling down the top of the shaft, landing on your feet in front of you. And looking down, you can see it is the body of a small red lizardy beast. He looks like a small dragon. Let me just grab him. As he lands on the
Does
ground.
it? Do I recognize it, or does it appear in Bolos Guide to Monsters?
It does indeed. You recognize it quite straight away, really. It is a kobold. It's a small, evil humanoid, generally that hunt in packs, stay away from the sunlight. And roost, it is known where dragons are. They also have a fondness for making traps.
I suppose it makes sense. Is it dead?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I'll put an X through him. Just there you go.
The dragon is no longer here.
Correct.
Alrighty.
Luna, do you drop concentration on your spiritual weapon?
It's not concentrational, but it disappears after a minute.
Okay. Yep.
I cannot believe that dragon abandoned his lair.
I was just getting started, you know, just warming myself up. Yeah. I gave it
Should
2
we-
fingers.
Should we go after it?
How?
I think if this is its lair, we can investigate it and see if we can find something. I will take a look around.
Yeah,
we
think?
we also have to find Hugh's hand. I suppose it has it in here somewhere.
Thanks for reminding me, dude.
I was just going to whistle to the hound and sort of signal for it to follow the dragon.
Okay. As you all start preparing to do and move around, Valrus, you're going to be going up the tracks.
I'll just send the hound up towards to where the dragon is. That's all it can do, anyways.
Okay. The hound takes. Do you get any vision through the hound again? And what's
No.
the range?
The range for summoning it is 120 feet. I don't know what happens when they leave that area. All it says is the hound knows the location of its target and can only move towards it and attack it.
Okay. Well, it disappears for 10 minutes.
Yep.
As it runs up the mine shaft.
Yep.
Okay. What are the rest?
And
of you
after
gonna
5, it disappears.
do? Okay. The sound of battle floats down as you hear some more screams and shouts coming from above.
Quite frankly, I'm looking for the horde, if there is one.
You're looking for the what?
The horde of the dragon, if there is
Okay.
one.
All right. So you're going to be looking around for the dragon horde. Dusted, what are you going to be doing?
Dustin didn't see Hugh's hand amongst all these skeletons, so he's just wandering looking for the hand.
Okay.
So he's wandering southwards on the map, I guess.
Yelena, what are you doing?
You might be muted.
She might be.
Oh, no,
Sorry.
she's not.
Sorry, the cats are being a bit of a pain.
Bastard. Behave.
What did you ask? Sorry.
What are you doing now that you're down here and out of combat?
I'm lamenting over the fact the dragon is gone.
Okay. Valrus?
Just gonna console her for a second and then just have a look around at all the skeletons.
Okay. As you take in the sights, the ground littered with dwarven skeleton corpses, you can hear the sounds of battle floating above. Vargo is on the hunt. You can see he's busy searching for something while Valrus sends his hound all the way upstairs. Vargo, isn't long before you make your way down and around into the corridor. It is a tunnel that sort of meanders itself around, and as soon as you get into the room,
Haha!
it is indeed a large pile of treasure that you find.
Inside of the hand in there?
Do you go walking around and looking inside?
Dustin is still
Oh my
looking for
God.
the hand, so he's going in there. Which is probably not a good idea, but
Dustin, have you ever wanted to bathe yourself in gold? Now you can.
Roll investigation check for me, please, Dusted.
oh no.
Bargo is. Oh, sorry.
Not bad. Vargo, what are you gonna do?
Oh, Bargo is casting detect magic right away.
Okay, so you're gonna cast detect magic right away. Okay. What is everybody else? Let's go around the table. What's everyone else going to be doing? Lunan.
I think
Bargo is by the way, Bargo is screaming jackpot to the rest of the party.
I think Luna will stay outside and actually keep an eye out for both by listening and looking up towards the sky for someone coming, but also making sure that our bird friends are not coming out of the tunnel. These weird things chasing us from before.
All right, roll a perception.
23. Stefan, did you mute yourself?
Yellen and Valrus?
I was just gonna walk into the room with a pile of gold and just sort of look at it, slightly awestruck, and then look at Dustin and just say, "Oh, have you ever seen so much gold in one place?"
Actually,
That's a good
DM,
question, DM.
how does the room look?
Which room? The treasure hoard room?
Yeah. I have detect magic on in case that matters.
Yeah, I just want to find out what everyone else is doing while you're casting detect magic.
Oh no, it's an action. I'm not doing the ritual.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Ah, okay.
Yelena?
She'll wander on in, have a look around, maybe see if she can spot any weapons in the hoard. If she can't, then she's just gonna jump in the pile of gold.
Okay. And then who've we left out?
That's how Jarlena found the sword. She jumped straight on it.
I think we need the dwarves, what they're doing, and I need some help to answering Valrus's question.
All right, Vargo, I've sent you what you found in the time that you've taken looking around, digging through the treasure hoard to see if you can find anything. Looking around, really, there isn't a lot of weaponry around here. There are, on the other side of the treasure hoard, there's barrels. Vargo wanders over there. He comes back to one of the boxes in the treasure hoard. But the barrels and the crates, they all contain like dwarf-made breastplates, helmets, shields, warhammers, battle axes. Basically the inventory from the dead lying from outside there. All manner and makes of dwarven armor. Clearly she has a thing for dwarves.
Any half plate by any chance?
Yeah, there's dwarven half plate there.
Oh my! I will try to see if it fits.
Okay. I mean, you'll need a D20 roll for me. Let's just do a check on that. And see if it's going to be a big dwarf or a small dwarf.
All right. 18.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tight fit at the moment. If a blacksmith worked on it for maybe 1 or 2 days, it could fit you no problem.
I don't.
But you could wear it. You could wear it now. I wouldn't recommend sleeping in it or wearing it for like a long trek.
With smith tools, do you think it will? I could tweak it a little bit.
I think it would take you a solid day or two to do it yourself.
All right. For now, I will take it with me. By the way, guys, that battle axe, that one over there, and that potion, those are magical.
You recognize the potion as a large potion of greater healing. Actually, same color and everything. You recognize them straight away.
All right.
That's the only magical items that you find. Amongst the other things, I mean, there's like gold embroidered scabbards, medallions and jewelry made from gold. The majority of the coins here are actually copper pieces.
Yay, more counting.
Woo!
Woo!
Yelena was good at this.
No. Do you know I lose
about-
count after a little bit?
After about 10 minutes, you hear the sound of boots marching from above you. And they're getting closer. And then closer. Dusted, you do not find a hand, no.
Oh,
When from around the corner, 5 dwarves all of a sudden appear at the top. Hey! What are you doing with our treasure?
Oh, it's this one. And I actually say it truthfully. I didn't remember.
4 of them are albino dwarves, and one of them is a little bit more dark-skinned, a bit like the difference between Mushrib and Hugh. Who are yous? What are you doing in here? You make a bloody commotion.
Trying to kill the dragon, but then she ran away.
Aye, now she's
Yeah.
laying fire and waste to the land. What
Is
kind of
she?
show
We
are you
can-
running down here?
We can go and finish her off. Of course, none of us can fly after her, though, can we? It's
Right,
not our fault
no,
she was a
no.
scaredy cat.
Who are yous? Who are ya?
We're here with these two. She points to Hugh and Mushrib.
And they seem to be in the other room right now.
Oh, but they're in the other room. The 2 dwarves. Mushrib and Hugh.
One of them, slightly older, in his hand you can see he's got a small mini barrel of ale with a tap on it, and he's like, I'll just go and have a look. And he disappears as the other 4 stand on the cliff edge above you, and they're tapping their foot, looking behind them. Hey, well, don't know who
Got
these
the
people are.
gauntlet.
What?
We did get the gauntlet, right?
Yes, we did. Musharib has it. And if you're worried we haven't touched the gold yet,
Hey,
We were going to
I mean-
count it,
plan to do so.
which
either.
would have taken a very long time.
hold on. How do you know Musharib?
He's our guide.
Oh, you're bloody kidding me.
He's why we're here. We said we would help him get his gauntlet back.
Hang on. Did you meet with Sithie on the other side of the mines?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, why
Precisely.
didn't- you see, I told yous. Why didn't you just tell us from the start when we asked me who you were? Well,
I thought you would have known.
from what?
Well, if you're up, I don't know. Okay, don't ask me.
Elves,
she's
no.
she's an elf in a mine. She's a little disoriented.
I had very much fun.
Right, well, I mean, if you're friends of Musharib's, you're friends of ours, okay? That's grand, like. City's on her way. We know we're supposed to be meeting her here and clearing out this mine, because, you know, apparently she's bringing help. I take it this is yours.
Yes.
Ah,
I
great, well.
believe we did our part, or what we were supposed to do.
Right, okay. He looks a little bit confused, and then in the distance you hear Musharib. And 2 people shouting, and then some patting and everything as Musharib comes over with the barrel carrying dwarf on the other side. Yeah. No, these lot, yeah. They're busy chatting, and he explains how he's travelled across the continent with you guys, and now that you've come to help him reclaim the dwarven legacies, and he holds up the gauntlet, and all of a sudden the other dwarves are like, oh, he's got the gauntlet. And one of them gets down on his knees and puts his fist to his head and elbow on his knees like, I will serve. I'll serve too. One of the
I
dwarves is
get
like,
close to
just wait till
I get
somebody
close to
sees this.
Musari.
Mm-hmm.
I get close to Musari and say to him, "Are you a king? So are you? You're the king now."
What? No. No, I'm not king, mate. No. I'm the overseer for the forge. This gauntlet makes me responsible for dwarven legacy.
All right.
No, I ain't no king. Not yet, anyway. But I think
Do you want us to kneel as well?
no, don't be silly like. You're good, mate, you're good. Listen, the real king is my wife, City, you know. So, yet Monsieur was just telling me that she's on her way here, so mayhaps we should, clear the mine and make sure there aren't any stragglers. Aye? And then
Or
maybe get a bite
fine
to
by
eat
me.
when we get up top.
And what should we do with the escaping dragon? I
Trust me,
don't
mate.
think we can.
She'll be back. She'll be back.
We'll need a way to trap it if we want to deal with her.
I think I know someone who just might have a couple ideas.
Right.
She is also not too long for this world. She seemed pretty injured when she flew away. So she shouldn't
Yeah,
be too bad to take down.
she wasn't too strong. Maybe a young one. I don't know.
Roll a Volo's guide check for me, please.
Ooh, that works.
Wow, you're quick on that trigger. Based on the sizes in the diagrams and illustrations, she was definitely a young red dragon.
Yeah, right now she's not much for us.
Right, so you do spend the next couple of hours or so clearing out the mines going up?
Mm-hmm. Kobolds, I assume.
Yes, there were. So, as you clear the mine through, you realize that all of the kobolds have already been killed. The dwarves made short and tidy work of all of them up there while you were dealing with the dragon. Let's just come out to there. Is that gonna work? No. And by the time you get to the top, you can see kobold corpses littering the floor in front of the exit where a barrier had been erected. All of the dwarves, their shields are covered with like kobold blood and everything as they set about building a campfire. Eventually, the sun begins to go down, and it's not long before Scythy comes walking out through the jungle. Oh, hey, so I heard there was all a big racket going on over here. Well, seems like my plans all worked, eh? I tell you what, I've got a bold and cunning plan. I've been thinking about you for a while, actually. Now, this dragon, she's gonna come back. And I reckon when she does, these kobold traps here, we rig them, catch her, and get rid of her once and for all. All of us, if we work together. What you say?
Sure. I mean, I'm convinced that we can get her. Yeah.
Yelena did say that she was in pretty bad shape when she left, so shouldn't be much of a problem.
Right, well, in which case, hear me out, right? What is the one thing that every dragon wants?
Shinies.
Treasure.
I've seen only 2 dragons, and
That's okay.
shinies it is.
That's okay. Your mate here, she got it right. Yeah, Shiny's treasure. I reckon we fill a cart up with some gold. Leave it at the top entrance as bait. Use hide under the gold and drive that cart down the tracks. And when she chases you and goes down, we'll throw a net to stop her from flying away. And that way, when she falls down to the ground, you'll be at the bottom too in the carts. And you can take care of business while she's tied up.
Alrighty. But where do we find the gold? Or do we use the leftovers from her court?
We'll take all the gold down in the bottom in her lair.
Alrighty. Works for me.
Everyone else?
Sounds good.
As long as we can impede her flying, it's gonna be okay.
Alright, then what I need from everybody is a group check. Let's give us each a d20 plus 3. A preparation check. You spend the next couple of hours following orders. Some of the dwarves take some of the mining carts from the bottom, partially fill them with all of the coins from the lair, and then push the carts all the way back up to the top, up to the beginning on the end of the track on the surface level. In the meantime, some of the other dwarves go down to the second level or the sub-level 1 and begin to set up a stone trap and a net trap just above it as well. You spend about 4 or 5 hours rigging it, and everything seems to be coming okay. None of you horribly messed up on your rolls, but it takes you about 3 hours to prepare. And in that time, one of the other dwarves, the one with the ale barrel, has cooked a meal for everyone.
Thanks. Do we get the time to take a short rest, maybe?
Yes, you do.
Alright.
All this preparation will have counted as a short rest for you, and maybe even for the dragon.
I hope so.
That's fair. She needs something else than a wand for this fight.
Right.
So,
Is anyone going to attempt a long rest? Or are you all just going to keep guard and wait? And
I
yes,
might attempt one.
okay.
We can keep guard.
What about Lunan? You're an elf. You only need 4 hours.
Sure. Lunan can sit and meditate.
Okay. As it is, it hits the dead of night. As you guys are meditating and the rest of you are taking your short rest or attempting to. It isn't much past 6 hours of waiting time when a shriek fills the air, and those of you who are standing on guard notice a gout of flame firing up not far away, and then the light in the sky lights up the red dragon as she's doing a beaming flight straight towards you. Quick! She's here! All of yous! Get in the carts! Right, who's climbing into which cart?
Barlow will go into the first one.
Yeah, the Yarlana will go in the first one as well.
Okay. Valgo and Yolena in the first one.
Gonna go in the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm also in the second one, I think. If I understand this plan correctly, obviously.
Yeah, basically get in the cart and hide. Act as food.
Did we manage to get the rest or not?
Yes, you did. It was 6
But-
hours, so you, as an elf, you got a long rest. Alright, Musharib stays behind. Siddhi isn't going to be letting her runaway husband run away again.
He doesn't get to be bait?
No, he doesn't join you on the bottom. Hugh does, though. So, Valrus, are you in the second cart?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Valrus and Dusted, who is going to man the brake?
Dusted was very good with it last time, so
And in the third cart, Lunan, Yelena.
Yarlena, of course.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I don't know. I don't mind.
I need.
I'm
Let's.
happy to if no one wants to.
Okay. Good. In which case, then, let's have everyone roll initiative, please.
Oh,
Nice. Oh, it does a little thingy when I roll a natural 20. I love it.
Yeah,
mine does a
as
thingy
well.
when it rolls a nat one.
Oh, yeah.
So many natural ones. Okay.
And we need one for Hugh?
Let me add him to the combat tracker. And Musharib is going to be on the combat tracker. Let's put him on 7 because they will be at the back. Okay. Um. Okay. Right. Vargo, you're the first one to see her breaking through the night sky, bursting aflame as she flies across over above you in circles and then dives down.
All right. I hope you're ready, guys. As I cast Bless again on the 5 of us.
Okay, casting Bless as the other dwarves get together and start pushing on the carts. Dusted. What are you doing this first round?
Dustin has no fancy magics or anything, so I guess he's just waiting for something to happen.
All right. Who's on the brake in your car? You are.
I am. Yeah.
Are you just going to let it go, or are you going to brake or keep speed?
I had the opportunity, the impression that we were just pretending not to be in the wagon, so breaking it might rouse suspicion, so he's just letting it go.
Okay, good plan. Valrus.
Gonna cast Mage Armor again.
Okay. Lunan.
For now, he's just holding.
Okay, so you're hiding. Vargo? You've already seen her, so.
Where is? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you've seen her heading towards you, and the dwarves have started pushing. And Yolena?
She'll just let it go.
Let it go. Okay. So you all do your preparations. Hugh is tucking down, hiding under the gold as much as he can as the dwarves push off. The carts slowly start moving forward as they are not breaking at all. Oh no, Marjorie. Get back. Okay. The carts go rumbling down. And as they do, about 100 feet behind the carts, the dragon appears as it swoops down in through the entrance of the mine and chases her gold. You hear her shrieking. Next round, Fargo, what are you doing anything different?
Huh. Do I see the dragon from where I am?
Roll a perception check for me. You definitely hear her.
I suppose my question is night, day? Is there any daylight or source of light inside here?
It's nighttime. The moonlight is shining down. Littered around the sides of the entrance or the track are various torches going around, but not enough to give off light. But what does give off light is the flames coming out of her nostrils as she's chasing you. She's 50 feet behind you.
Do I feel like I will need dark vision? Or is it okay in the current light conditions?
It's dim light, so your dark vision will kick in any event.
No, but I don't have dark vision any longer.
Ah, you could make do without it. I mean, you can see her.
All right. In that case, do you want me to roll perception if I see her? Right?
Yes.
You tell me. With a 10.
Yeah, with a 10, you actually just see the flames coming out of her nostrils. You just manage to see her head, and that is it.
Alrighty. I say, right there. As I cast Tasha's Mind Whip on her.
Oh, okay.
She
So,
has to make a intelligence saving throw. DC is 15.
ooh, she gets a 20.
Alrighty, then she takes half this damage.
Okay, go ahead and
That's
roll.
all. It's psychic and well, 2 points of damage.
Okay, and she reels as she shrieks as she takes the damage. Just a little pinch in her mind. Is that your turn?
That is my turn. Yeah.
Dust it over to you.
And she is this distance from us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dustin is just gonna lay low for now.
So you're gonna maintain your cover.
Yeah.
Okay. Lunan, what are you gonna do?
Luna, isn't the dragon before, or?
What are you gonna do?
Luna will cast aid on Dusted, on Valeris, and on Vargo.
Okay, so are you gonna break cover?
He will put his head up, see them, cast it, put his head down. So yeah,
Okay. Can you send aid to? Is it just temporary hit points?
yeah, it's 5 hit points extra.
Okay, cool. Yelena, what are you up to?
Yeah, we're probably gonna need it. She's gonna cast Bless on.
We all have it.
A second
Oh, we
bless.
have.
Yeah.
Oh, does everybody have it
Yeah.
completely? Oh, okay, that's fine then. Don't need to worry about that. I don't think I have anything that I can give to help people.
Okay, so you're just maintaining your hiding.
Yes.
And Valrus?
Oh, I was muted. Same here. He will also just hide for now.
Okay, so as the cart speeds around, it's really just Vargo and Lunan who are breaking cover. I need both of you to roll a stealth check for me, please.
I have disadvantage.
Okay, Lunan, she doesn't notice you. However, Vargo, she notices you, the movement in the cart, and connects two dots as she screams. The cart then rumbles down around Whoopsie, around the mineshaft, gathering speed as it continues to go down. In the front cart, are you still hiding, Yelena?
Yes.
Lunan?
Yes.
And Vargo, what are you doing?
I mean,
I just-
I'm trying to lure her to me, I suppose.
Okay, so you're making yourself seen. Valrus and Dusted, are you going to break cover or are you going to stay in the cart hiding?
Gonna hide.
Yeah, I'm also hiding.
Okay. As the cart pick up speed, they whip around the next corner. Vargo, you're the only one who's got your head popped up, so I need you to roll a dex saving throw for me, please.
Alrighty. That will be a 19.
Okay. As the carts go screaming around the corner. Wow, this thing's... You're starting to pick up pace. The only one with his head up and taking a look to see where you go as you fly past the stone trap with a net on it. The red dragon flies in, her eyes follow you around, and then she turns in the air and dives down till she gets to exactly where you are. The carts continue to go flying past. I need everyone to roll a dexterity check for me, please.
Check.
A check this time, yeah.
Alrighty.
Oh, here goes.
Nice.
Okay. Vargo, you're the only one who doesn't see the corner coming, and the string clips you on the head as you fall back, smack your head on
Sorry,
the
I
cart.
accidentally pressed save.
Um,
I think it's a one less, but I can roll again if you want.
no, you're good. In fact, Dusted,
Yeah.
looking up ahead with your dex check at 6, you almost start to chuckle at Vargo slapping backwards his head onto the cart as the string then hits you in the forehead and you get shunted back. You hit your head on the back of the cart again, not laughing anymore. As you go zooming around, I need everyone to roll a group strength check for me for the dwarves. It just so happens
So-
there's 6 dwarves, so... As the dwarves drop down from the banisters above, trying to rig the net from falling. So what have we got? A 16 and 19, a 16, 11, and an 8 from Lunan. So 2 fails. There's 1 roll missing. Who's going to take the last one for the 6th dwarf? Anybody?
I'll do it.
Go on.
Also, one of those 16s is 17 because I rolled my strength.
Oh, nice. Just as well because the second one was
The
the
2.
2. All right. And you watch as the dwarves start pushing and shoving, and then all of a sudden the stone falls off and the net above gets pulled from the one side. I need to roll. As the red dragon flies down trying to avoid the net, she rolls a 3 for a dex check. Unable to move out of the way in time, the net catches her and she wriggles, and the dwarves let go of the rope, and as soon as they do, she stops flapping her wings and she drops 50 feet down into the bottom of the cavern. Lunan, can you roll 5d6 for me, please? A cheer goes up from the dwarves. Rah! As all of a sudden you speed down in the cart, shunting at 200 feet, moving down, heading past the junction in the first cart. Yelena, what are you doing?
Sorry, I'm being attacked by cats again. Whereabouts are we're on the final floor, aren't we?
Yeah, you've screamed all around, and as you do, you notice the body of the dragon dropping, the mining carts flying down the tracks towards the barrier at the bottom.
She's gonna put the brake on about now.
Okay, I need a strength check from you, please.
Oh no. Oops. Oh, phew.
A 19 is perfect for that as you slam on the brakes and the cart slowly starts to slow down. And the cart behind, Valrus or Dusted, are either of you going to jump onto the brakes firstly?
Dusted will.
Alright, roll a strength check for me.
Yeah, this isn't working. I hit my head a little too hard on that rope.
You did indeed, so everyone in the first cart, please roll a dexterity check. Vargo, Yelena, and Lunan, as the cart behind slams right into you, shunts you forward. Yelena, specifically you, manage to hold onto the brake and keep it going. And then slow down both of the carts as they come to a grinding halt just at the bottom of the mining shaft, bumping into each other. You manage to get out of the carts. The dragon hasn't been able to escape. We're top of the next round, or let's say the first round of Vargo.
I will position myself over there, and I suppose I will try to take the hide action.
Okay, go ahead and roll a stealth check for me.
Yes, at disadvantage, unfortunately.
Dusted.
Yeah, that's not gonna do.
Oh, you don't know yet. Dusted.
Yeah, also a stealth check.
Okay.
Or what do you mean? Sorry.
Are you going to be stealthy? What are you doing?
No, at this point, Dusted is jumping out. And just trying to rush towards the dragon.
Okay, so you're gonna charge and go across.
Yeah, the same thing as before, trying to drag her attention away from these people.
Okay, so you're gonna run around the back Down to
Yeah, so
1.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Something like that, yeah.
Cool. Okay. Go ahead then. Firstly, roll your attacks for me.
Yeah.
And your first attacks, because she's tied up in a net, I'm going to let you roll with advantage.
Alright. The first attack is 25,
That's a hit.
and the second one is a 1. Oh, 10, but yeah, it's a 1. I rolled a 1, so she has advantage attacking me, and she takes 12 damage, and I again try to mark her. Well, I do mark her, so she is attacking anyone else but me. She has disadvantage, but she has advantage attacking me.
Got you. Is that your turn?
Yeah, that's my turn.
Okay. Alright, so she spends her action trying to break the nets and pulling them apart, and she manages to succeed on the first time, and she's slowly starting to get up. There are still nets entrapping some of her wings, but she's broken out of the ones on her legs. That is her turn. Lunan.
Lunan walks 1, 2, 3, 4. And just tells her to grovel.
Oh, okay. Was that a wisdom save?
Yes. Wisdom 16.
That was a wisdom check. She gets +4 on her wisdom saving throw. So that would
Also,
be a 16.
she manages.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens, and then I move out of the way.
Okay. Next up then is Yelena.
Um, she's gonna run to the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And as she does, she'll cast, well, what was it called? Oh my god.
Booming blade.
Divine Favor first, and then Booming Blade. So that's Divine Favor. And then, yeah, she'll cast Booming Blade as part of her attack.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping it hits. Oh, I thought that was a 1 then. That's a 16 hit.
You have bless?
You're bl-
And
Oh,
you're
I have
blessed.
bless.
you're ble-
19.
That hits. The 16 misses. The 19 hits.
Oh my god. Oh, that was awful. Then there's the Booming Blade and 1d4 from the thing, Radiant.
Sheesh.
Nice.
19.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and then her other attack.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I can still do that. That is definitely a 1. I don't think there's any way it's gonna hit even if I roll a 4. That is my turn.
Okay. Which brings us up to Valrus.
It's gonna run over there for now.
Mm-hmm.
And cast Chromatic Orb again, but at 3rd level.
Oh. 1 second. Yelena, your second. Yeah, no, sorry, carry on. Even the one was. Sorry, Valrus, my bad.
There we go.
Chromatic Orb.
24.
24 hits.
That is 23 cold damage.
Holy shit. That is quite a lot, dude. Okay. Anything else?
No.
Next up then is Hugh. And Hugh is going to spend his action going into a frenzy, which then moves us to Musharib and his dwarves, who are now hightailing it down the cavern, the railing, running at full tilt as dwarves do, for a couple of rounds and then pausing to breathe and then carrying on. Okay, which brings us up to the top of the next round. It is Vargo.
Alrighty. What I'm going to do is pick over and try it again. Cast Mind Whip. So intelligence saving throw, if you can, please. DC is 15.
15. She fails.
Alrighty. In that case, she takes a little bit better, 9 points of psychic damage. And in her turn, she can move, take an action, or a bonus action. She has to choose.
Got you. Okay.
And then I move back.
Alright. Which brings us to Dusted Coal.
Yeah, he's gonna try to attack her twice first with the rapier. 22 and 14, and even with the less, it's only a 15. So,
Unfortunately, no, that misses.
so one hit
Yep.
of 9 magical piercing damage and marking her once more.
Okay.
Fight me, creature.
Alright, which brings us up to the dragon's turn. And she is going to... She's going to breathe on you, Valrys, and try and get everyone running and hiding around the pillar in the area. She's going to forego her breath weapon attacks. Sorry, her claws and her bites. She's going to exhale fire in a 30-foot cone.
That doesn't seem nice.
No, it does not.
It's 10. Let's go. AoE.
You have it on the map.
It's the same.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's a nice little oh.
That gets 3. I'll give Lunan and Vargo already half damage for cover.
Got a dex save.
That will be a dexterity saving throw, yes. It's a DC 17.
Easy.
Oh, alrighty. Vargo will use his reaction to cast Absorb Elements and take half.
Nice, okay. So then you take
That's
0.
half-halved. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you take 0. So Lunan, you'll take half. And Valrys, you'll take half.
But it's still a lot of
fire
yeah.
damage.
Oh god.
That's 55, so both of you take half of that.
And it's fire damage as well.
It is fire damage, yes.
So it's half for you as well, Valrys?
I think so.
Nice.
13
20
or 14. I think.
Half, call it 13. And Lunan, you take half of that 55. No, sorry, you... Yeah, half.
27 or 28?
27.
Alright.
Which brings us to Lunan, your turn.
That hurt. Lunan getting that hit probably go around the corner and shoot back
Okay.
with guiding bolt level 3.
Nice, okay. That definitely hits. Oh shit, 66. Wow. Okay. She is definitely bloodied after that. She's not looking good as Guiding Bolt slams into her for 23 points of damage.
And next attack also have advantage.
And next attack gets advantage against her. Is that your go?
I think Lunan will move back a bit. Like so.
Okay. Which brings us to Yelena. You have advantage.
Ooh. She'll do the same as last time. Booming blade and then regular attack.
Uh-huh.
Advantage.
23 hits.
23. So that's that one. With that. And the booming blade.
16. 23.
23.
23.
Yeah, that's your first attack.
And then. Oh! God.
Nice.
Oh my.
Here we go again.
Now she's evaporated.
How do you want to do this?
Oh, I didn't think I'd kill it. Oh, if only Hugh was in range, she'd give it to Hugh.
But yeah, behind you, you see Hughes like still frothing, trying to get into his
Oh.
rage.
Oh, I feel bad for Hugh. Yeah, he's too far away to bring into it. She, if possible, I'd like for her to try and down it so that essentially Hugh could have the finishing blow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. As you swing in the first sword, you hit, the booming blade goes off, and you lean back, and your second one just sort of sinks right underneath her chin as she's finished breathing, almost like a cocktail stick through a sausage. You grab it and then twist it and hold on as you lean forward with the blade, pulling her head down. And Valrus, you watch in bewilderment as you've just been like burned to a cinder. You're still standing, and as you look up, you see Yelena just pulling this almost semi-conscious dragon's head closer down to the ground. And right after your turn, Valrus, Hugh comes charging in. It's
At its hand!
Yelena, do me a favor and roll a d20 for Hugh, would you please? He gets advantage. So.
Oh, advantage. Good. Oh boy. I think I used all my luck on...
Right, he's also he's a charger, so he gets another +5 to his hit if he's moving at least 10 feet in a straight line, and he gets +5 on his strength. So that's
That's good.
+10.
And
Plus 10. That's
that
good then.
hits.
As he goes running through, whack! The battle axe sinks all the way into the haft. The dragon almost just gives up a little cough and a burp. Oh, I did it! I did it! Yeah!
You did it! Well done, Hugh. You got her.
With all enemies around him, Hugh drops onto the ground, exhausted, and then slowly starts to calm down. He's like, whoa! Look, I just had the weirdest dream. And he turns and he looks next to him, and then he sees the dead dragon. He's like, oh, I did it! I did it! I did it! Rolls over onto his knees and pushes himself up with his one hand, and then he starts to do like a little Irish shake. Musharib comes over and slings an arm around, and they both start dancing around like, in a circle, arm in arm. We got the mines now, we got the mines now, and you're dead. We got the mines now. And I think that is where
Well done, Hugh.
that is
That
where
was
we're
very
gonna
good.
end for tonight. And where we're gonna end for Christmas as well, guys.
Oh yeah.
I know. Congratulations on clearing out the mines.
For the killing blow.
Mm-hmm.
And for the
Well
killing
done,
blow.
Hugh.
You don't know it. Sorry that went on for a little bit longer. I apologize for everyone who has to be at work tomorrow.
It's okay.
Anders is probably asleep alongside Axel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much.
it's 1:45 here.
Yeah,
I
same here.
understand. Yeah. Guys, that was awesome. I'm so glad that you all stayed on for so long. Thanks so much. But you have now finished Act 1 and liberated 2
Oh, wow.
mines. Yeah, with the help of the dwarves, you managed to take down the big bad evil dragon.
Hell
Congratulations.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I can't believe how much damage you did in that first round. You know she has like 178 HP.
Oh my god.
Yeah, something like that.
How
Dragon-wise, it's nearly 200 every time for young dragons.
She
How
was
many
on like,
crits did we have in total? We had quite a few, didn't we?
I
Yeah,
know.
we did.
She was on
Oh
like
my god.
50 or 49 HP when she flew off.
Can I
Oh my
just say that I
god.
love that every time I get a chance to use one of my abilities, something in the game takes it away.
Oh.
I have this, and she finally does. I finally have someone that dealt damage to someone that was marked, and then she was dead. So I was ready. I was ready for 3 attacks next turn, but nothing. Damn.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. The fall did a lot of the damage to her as well.
I
Oh yeah,
wasn't
the fall.
expecting
Forgot about
my
that.
puppy to do so much as well. I looked at that 2d6 plus 3, that's nothing. It ended up being like 30.
So, I suppose on the 11th we'll pick up where we left off.
Yeah.
Victoriously standing over the corpse of a dragon. Congrats. Yeah. Guys, have a really, really good Christmas. And if
You as well.
You too.
if any of you are bored and decide to run a one shot, then just get in touch. I will happily join.
Alright.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So enjoy the festivities, everyone. And
Will do.
I will see you next year, guys.
yeah, see you all next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope I can put something up, but with the workload right now, I cannot promise anything.
Fair
No,
enough.
that's
I mean,
alright.
I will probably will not be able to join. I believe in those dates. That's okay.
That's alright. We will continue on the 11th in any event.
Alrighty. Have a good Christmas, everyone.
You as
Thank you
well.
for listening.
Yeah, and enjoy the holidays.